We will proceed to the first technical session. And for this session, we have with us Dr. Vikas Nanda sir, Professor of Food Engineering and Technology. He is a session chair for the today's session, and we will be reading the special address. Before starting the session, I would like to introduce sir to you. He holds a PhD degree in food technology. He has proven academic and research experience of overall 25 years in developing nutritional products, particularly with higher antioxidant content from honey, analyzing honey from sugar profile, volatile component, flavonoid profile, amino acid profile, enzymatic activity, and many more to search the adulterant in the honey. He is presently working on a project process development and validation for evaluating the adulteration in honey, sanctioned by the Board of Research in Nuclear Sciences, Department of Atomic Energy, Baba Atomic Center, Mumbai, for the amount of rupees 32.65 lakh. He successfully completed the project on the identification of chemical makeup, on the discrimination of honey collected from the different floral sources, and the evaluation of the antioxidant potential as affected by the process parameters sanctioned under the technical education quality improvement program. He has published more than 80 papers in national and international journals of highly repute. He has authored 5 books and several book chapters. He is a master trainer for the minor forest products under PMFME, MOFTI. He has been honored by the many awards for his work by the Indian Bee Pollen. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning to all the participants. I am Professor Vikas Nanda. I am from the Department of Food Engineering and Technology, Sant Longowal Institute of Engineering and Technology. And this institute is located in the Punjab. And in this institute, I have set up my own apiary. The purpose of setting up an apiary is just as you all know that there is a problem in getting the authentic samples related to the food. So I have established this apiary with the help of the beekeeper. So I can actually collect the authentic sample of the honey, and if I would like to compare it with any other honey, I can compare it very easily. As I am conveying you that I have established one apiary with the help of the beekeepers. All the hives are donated to me by the beekeepers. So in this bee form, we are in apiary, we are producing the pollen. We are doing the research work on the pollen also, and we are collecting the propolis also. So in this, we are giving the training to our students also. And then we are having a small processing unit also in the department, and we are developing the various products also in the department. So this is the beekeeper who has given me these hives. Mr. Jagtar Singh is a very progressive beekeeper. He donated me around 25 hives. So with his help, I am also doing the little bit of the beekeeping. So as far as the most important thing about the honey is the quality of the honey, and in this short period discussion I would like to share that the actually the problem or issue with the quality starts with the extraction of the honey. We all know the locations where the beehives are kept and how their transportation is being done. So wherever we are placing the hives, that place is also not, you can say, potable water is not available, electricity is not available. So during my own visit, I have seen that there are a lot of problems which are associated with the extraction of the honey, and the quality of the honey deteriorate at this place only. So I can show you that this is a condition under which the honey has been collected most of the time. No infrastructure, poor water availability, no hygienic practices, and moreover, we are not giving enough training to the beekeepers about the hygiene practices which must be followed. So the quality of the, and moreover the equipment which we are used, that are also not of the stainless steel. So there are a lot of issues at the farm level which results into the problem in the honey. There are a lot of foreign substances will come, harmful bacteria can come. So the one thing which must be done as far as the honey production is concerned, that beekeepers should be given the proper training related to the hygiene practices. They must be provided with the stainless steel equipments, and the locations where they are shifting their hives, that location must be somehow um, uh, there should be some kind of mapping must be done, because then there is a lot of crowded places are also. This slide is about the honey which I received in my own lab. So I can see the conditions of the baskets. I can see the conditions of the, you can see the condition of the honey. So there is a lot of problems or the issues with the honey when it is received in the lab. So these problems should be tackled at the farm level only. And then the certain other things which I would like to discuss, that is related to the value addition of the honey. I can show you one more slide related to this. Is the small unit of the honey which we are having in our lab. We have opened this machine, and we are also facing a lot of problems related to this machine because of the certain filters, etc., which are installed in this machine. So these are the kind of the filters which are installed in this machine, which we later changed on. So uh, when you go for the processing at a small level, like I am having a 60 kg batch type processing, so the kind of the filters which are being used, that is also of material which is not desirable as far as the food is concerned, and that is spoiled very easily, or it is also. So we have changed all these things in our machines. So related to honey, such kind of the problems are also being faced. Another thing which I would like to share about the value addition of the honey. So in the value addition, the care should be taken about the, we all know that the, when we heat the honey, then the quality is being deteriorated. So the product should be developed in such a way so that there should not be deterioration in the quality of the honey, particularly its enzymatic activity. We all know that we heat it, there is an increase in the HMF content also. So these are the problems which are associated with it, and one of the solution is the production of the comb honey. So this picture is actually of a hotel in which they are directly supplying the this frame to the consumers on their table. So this is one of the honey which we can produce and can sell in the market, and this is I'm also producing in our lab. Another is the cream honey. Cream honey can also be produced, but cream honey, the problem in the cream honey in India is that when the temperature is around in the summer around 45 or a 50, then there is a meltdown of this honey. So cream honey cannot be produced the way we are producing. It has been shown on the internet, or way it is produced in the European countries. Because if you produce it by that way, then it will there will be the problem related to the melting of the cream honey. So you have to improve a technique so that there should not be problem related to the uh, cream honey. Another thing, as we have, you can see, we have developed this in our own lab. Honey mango rolls. We mixed with the honey with the mango pulp, and we have selected a particular kind of the apple variety also. So after that, we prepared in it in such a way so that there should be the minimum heat. And I can show you this product also. Let me switch on if it my video, if it is compatible. So one minute. So these are, I will show you later on these roles. So these type of the two can produce a different type of the rolls from the different type of the fruits, but it is a tedious process. It is not so simple, but no sugar is used in the production of these honey mango rolls. Another product which can be produced, that is related to the bakery product. So in case of the bakery, the care should be taken that we should not mix it just like in a dough. It should not be like as an ingredient to which you are then baking it at a very high temperature around 120 to 125 degrees centigrade. So in case of the bakery product is the honey should be added in such a way that there should be the minimum heat to the honey during the baking process. So that is also possible. We are doing this work in our lab, in which like you all of you must have seen this choco pie. So honey should be added in such a way, it should be the texture, or you can say rheology of the honey should be changed in such a way so that there should be the minimum heat to the honey during the baking process. So as I said earlier also, whatever product you prepared uh, uh, from the honey, there should be the minimum heat. If you heat it, then there is a then the honey simply become a sugar, and there is a no even you will not get any kind of a flavor of the honey. So that is the problem which is encountered when you are directly adding it into a bakery product. So we should do it in such a way that the filling should be developed, and those fillings should be added into the bakery product. Similarly, honey spread can be prepared. It can be prepared from the cream honey, but there is a another way by which you can produce this honey spread. I have prepared it in my lab by mixing it with a certain kind of the ingredients, so it is spreadable just like a peanut. So जैसे peanut butter होता है, so similarly we have developed the honey spread also, so that can be easily spreadable on your bread, and that is eatable also, and its consistency will not change even at a room temperature. It will not melt. So such kind of the product are the need of the hour if we would like to popularize the honey, and if we want to earn more and more money from the honey. So another product which can be product that is the mead. That is a very popular product for the fermentation. You in this case you just dilute the honey, reduce its TSS, and then after that you are adding the wine yeast into it for the fermentation. And in this process, in I have done it in my lab also, the maximum amount of the alcohol which can be produced, that is about 10 to 11%. I couldn't able to produce more alcohol, but this 10 to 11% is a very good combination of sugar and alcohol. So it is a balanced, and you get a very good taste of the mead if you are preparing it from the honey. So honey jelly can also be produced, and it is just like as I produce the mango rolls. So before the production of the mango roll, the product which I have obtained, that was a honey jelly. So you can use it as a jelly, and then convert later on it you can convert it uh, uh, into a different type of the rolls. ठीक है, so dry fruit honey, yes, that is another thing which you can produce. That is a different type of the preserves. Different type of the preserves you can also develop from the honey. So by closing this presentation, I will show you the certain products which we have developed in our lab. So, as I told you about the mango rolls, so these are the mango honey rolls which we have prepared in our lab. It is very tasty, and it consists of the full flavor of the like this. You can see it. So this is a roll which we have developed in our lab, and it has a full flavor of the honey as well as of the mango. And We haven't added any other ingredient, and when we check the nutritive value of this product, it doesn't have the much HMF, and the nutritive value is also maintained as far as the, you can say, phytochemicals, antioxidant activity, etc. And this is this is the preserve. This is, we have actually prepared the, we have used the not fully ripe mango, and then we added it into the honey, but care should be taken that there should not be any fermentation. So the mango should not add whatever you are adding, whether you are adding these nuts into it, or whether you are adding amla into it. The care should be taken that that should not ferment the honey, because sometimes due to the process of the honey osmosis, there is a, you can say, fermentation of the honey. As the moisture content of the honey will increase in the lab, there will be the fermentation, and that will not be a natural fermentation. And we have prepared a flavored honey also. It is a strawberry honey, so it is very, you can say, delicious. Fragrance is just like of a strawberry, and you have to certain modify the honey little bit, and then you can convert it into a flavored honey. So we are also having the mango flavored honey. So these kind of the products can be easily developed from the honey, and you can earn a lot of money from the honey also. So with this, I come to the, I'm concluding my talk, and in the nutshell, what I would like to say that when we discuss the honey quality, the care should be taken at the farm level only. Only then we could produce a good quality honey, and because the processing of the honey will not change much. And then when we talk about the value addition of the honey, the product should be developed in such a way so that there should be a minimum heating to the honey. So thank you very much.
Sir, one question is, what is the minimum heat we can introduce to honey, sir?
Oh, that is around 55 or 60 degrees centigrade. That is the minimum heat you can imply, but then time also matters for how much time you are employing it. Actually, when we go for the this processing of the honey, the first is always the melting of the honey. So for liquefaction, we are using the heat, and then for the when we process it, we want to inactivate the yeast so that there should not be fermentation. So 65 degrees centigrade, around 60-degree temperature for half an hour or 15 to 20 minutes is enough. That will take good care of the HMF as well as the diastase according to Indian standard. Because in Indian standard, we know that HMF is 80 mg per kg, and we are quite liberal about the diastase also. So the normal quality which is required by the FSSAI can be easily maintained. But what I would like to share that we should not concentrate on following the FSSAI standard. We should improve further the quality of the honey. Like, why should we go for the 80 mg per kg if I can maintain my, because when you are getting it from a hive, the HMF content is very low, around 5 mg or a 10 mg. So if we take it care of honey proper during transportation, when it reaches at a plant, there should not be, it should not be stranded over there under the sun. So if we control those conditions, then we can further improve the quality of the honey, and particularly diastase activity. 8 or 9 diastase activities always, I can think will get you a good price in the international market.
Sir, one more question. Is crystal honey is a pure?
Yeah, there is a no issue. 90% of the Indian honeys are crystallized. Uh, uh, the crystallization is, actually, it is a very complicated process. Even if you control the fructose glucose ratio, you can see that I will maintain it around 1.2, etc. And then I can control the crystallization. You cannot control the crystallization because there are so many factors which are responsible for the crystallization of the honey. First is, crystallization is not a sign of adulteration. 90% of Indian honey will crystallize. Why we go for the processing? The whole purpose of the processing of the honey is the whole purpose of processing of honey is to prevent the crystallization. Okay, so that is why we go for the filtration. We don't want any even a single you can say pollen into the honey, so that there should not be any nuclei for the crystallization of the honey. And secondly, then we go during the packing also, we heat the honey so that there should not be any air even into our bottle. So all these what we are doing to prevent the crystallization of honey. But all honey will crystallize, and the exact word which we can use, that we can delay the crystallization. We cannot prevent it, we can delay it, and all the processing which we are doing, that is the just for the prevention of the crystallization. And by controlling a simple fructose glucose ratio, you cannot prevent the crystallization. The how type of the packaging material is there, where you are storing it, all these factors will result in the crystallization of the honey.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, can we move ahead to the next
Yes,
section?
yes,
Yes, yes,
yes,
yes.
please.
Thank you, sir. So
Well,
thank you so much, sir, for the time, and I hope people know about the more about honey and they get do more good in their business. Thank you so much, sir. Moving ahead with the next technical talk, which is on the processing and value-added products from honey. From this session, we have with us Dr. Sandeep Jhangru, Head and Associate Professor, Department of Food Technology, Rajiv Gandhi University, Arunachal Pradesh. I would like quickly introduce sir to you. He holds a PhD degree from Food Engineering and Technology. He has more than 12 years of teaching and research experience in the field of food processing. He published more than 16 papers, 6 popular articles, 7 book chapters, and worked on the 4 sponsored projects which is worth rupees 15 crores, such as development of non-thermal processing and botanical source identification technique for Indian honey and vice versa. His research area of interest is cereal sciences, bakery science and technology, honey processing, dairy technology, fruits and vegetable processing, and non-thermal processing techniques. He delivered more than 20 talks at national level and life member of the AFSTI Safety Mysore and Nutrition Society of India, National Institute of Nutrition, Hyderabad, India. I welcome you, sir, and thank you for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you.
Good morning to all the participants. And today we are going to discuss about honey, its classification, the processing methods, and functional aspects of honey. So, what actually honey is, as we all know, it's a like super saturated sugar solution which honeybee produce either from the nectar of the blossoms or from secretions of living part of the plants which honeybee collect, transform, combine with specific substances of its own, and then leave it in the honeycombs for ripening and storage. So this is just a basic term which we are using for honey. Although honey is like classified into 3 major categories. The first one is on the basis of its origin, then the way we are processing it, and the end uses of honey. So talking about the origin, as in the definition I have told, like if the honey has been taken from nectar of the flowers, that kind of honey is called blossom honey. If honey is from the secretions of living part of the plant or from secretions of insects, that kind of honey is called as honeydew honey. Then comes monofloral or polyfloral honeys. Like if the flower source is single, like honey nectar has been taken from single type of flowers, that kind of honey is called monofloral. And if it is from multiple floras, that is called monofloral or polyfloral honey. Then on the basis of processing, how we are processing, it's like 5 different categories of honey they are there. Like in my previous slide, as you have seen, a comb of honey, if it is kept in a jar or in a tray and sold in the market, that kind of honey is called as comb honey. Then strained or extracted honey, if we are taking it out from the comb and separating wax and honey, the liquid honey is called strained honey. And if we are using the centrifugal force to separate it out from the wax or from the comb, that is called extracted honey. So extracted honey is mostly available in the market or straining we are doing. Apart from this, one more category category we used to call chunk honey. So in a liquid jar, filled honey jar, if we are keeping a small, you can say BCom filled with honey, that kind of is called chunk of honey. If we are keeping that kind of honey sold in the market with the name chunk honey. Then, as Nanda sir told, creamed honey, like where the crystallization has started and honey, instead of having clear and transparent look, it becomes hazy and creamish look, that is called creamed honey. And like if it is fully crystalline, that is called crystallized or granular honey. Talking about the total production of honey in India, we are annually producing more than 100,000 metric tons from our country and exporting so many, exporting most of it. And in-house consumption is also there. If I'll talk about the states where maximum production of honey is taking place in India, is like if West Bengal, UP, Bihar, Punjab, and some parts of Haryana, they are like the major contributors in the total production. They themselves, like these 4 5 states, only contribute more than 60% of the total honey production from our country. Basically, bee rearing, known as apiculture, is practiced by either marginal or landless farmers, just like our dairying business. It directly, indirectly provides employment to more than 3 lakh people in our country, and it helps in increasing the productivity and yield of crop by doing cross pollination. And the amount of cross pollination is directly proportional to the increase in the you can say yield of the crop. The basic things which are present in honey mainly includes carbohydrates, or I can say glucose and fructose are the major sugars. Apart from that, maltose, or you can say sucrose, and other complex carbohydrates are also present, but in a very lesser amount. The major contribution is of glucose and fructose. Glucose share varies from 25 to 40%, and fructose varies from 30 to, you can say, 44, 45%. Altogether, carbohydrate, or you can say sugar percentage, is somewhere around 80%. The second most important component after carbohydrates is your moisture content or water. The fully ripe honey, we can say that that word ripe honey is only we can place if the moisture content is less than 20% or not more than 20%. So apart from these two components, some other minor nutrients they are there, including protein, which contain like 18 to 20 you can say different amino acids has been reported, although they are not present in significant amount in honey. The percentage is very less, 0.05 to 1%. Then it's a rich source of vitamin B complex and vitamin C if it is unprocessed. Then it contains almost all essential minerals like your calcium, iron, sodium, zinc, magnesium. So all in all, you can say all major nutrients they are present in honey. Apart from this, if I'll talk about the statistics or standards rather than statistics, standards for honey, sometime back, FSSAI has finalized various parameters, or you can say quality parameters for honey. Although FSSAI is having little relaxation, as Nanda sir also pointed out, for if we'll compare it with the European Union standards or the earlier one BIS standards, which we have opted directly as like EU standards for honey. The specific gravity as per FSSAI is like should have to be 1.35 at 27 degrees centigrade. Apart from that, moisture should not have to be more than 20%. Reducing sugars minimum 65%, sucrose minimum 5%, glucose fructose ratio, which is like 1 in case of European Union standards or earlier our BIS standards which we were following. Now they have given relaxations from 0.95 to 1.50%. The ratio of glucose is to fructose. As ash content, not more than 0.5. Acidity, 0.2 maximum. Hydroxymethyl furfural, which is non-desirable in honey, and it's kind of a like carcinogenic compound, and it's like limited to 80 milligram per kg as per FSSAI, whereas international standards, they allow only 50 mg per kg HMF content after processing and blending in a honey. Pollen count, another important aspect for checking the authenticity. Maximum is 25,000, whereas in case of BIS standards, 50,000. Diastase and activity, which is like important enzyme for conversion of sugars and responsible for various functional aspects in honey. We have given relaxation, and like we have considered up to 3 shade units diastase activity, whereas as per BIS it was like 8 shade units, and some other parameters they are also there. Share the PPT if you guys require. Then coming to processing, I think a few amongst the participants, they might be doing their own business also. So rather than before going for processing, I just want to clear that why do we need to process? As honey contains higher sugar amount than your jam, it's self-preserved, it's super saturated sugar solution. Why do we need to go for processing? We used to process for two major reasons. In the previous session also, sir told like to delay the tendency of crystallization. We cannot avoid or we cannot restrict, we can delay the tendency of crystallization. And the second thing is to destroy the or kill the osmophilic yeast present in honey, because of unhygienic conditions, like beehives are kept in open, and then air, this thing, osmophilic yeast from air or from dust or dirt may come into the honey, which can cause spoilage. But it's not spoiling. The reason is it's super saturated sugar solution and highly acidic in nature. So the yeast, when it is not getting favorable condition, that's why it can't spoil. The reason is, but when honey crystallizes, phase separation takes place, glucose settle down and fructose remains in a liquid phase. In that liquid phase, sugar concentration reduces, and when this sugar concentration reduces, this osmophilic yeast get favorable condition and start spoiling or causing fermentation to the honey. So two reasons: to delay crystallization so that yeast won't be active, and to kill the osmophilic yeast. As sir told, we used to preheat it at a temperature of somewhere around 40 degrees centigrade to dissolve the existing crystals and to reduce the viscosity, so that we can easily do straining or filtration by using muslin cloth. After that, we used to finally pasteurize it like 60-65 degrees centigrade for 25 to 30 minutes. Industrially, we used to give this holding time of 25 minutes, and after that, cooling it at a certain temperature and then doing filling into the bottles. During this process, HMF formation takes place, which is kind of an indicator for overheating, or you can say prolonged storage. It also affects the functional aspects like enzymatic activity of honey, as they are heat sensitive. So if we are heating it at a temperature of 60-65 degrees, that too for 25-30 minutes, it will affect the functional parameters. So, but we need to, you can say, process it to extend the shelf life by minimally damaging the products or nutritional aspects. There are certain newer technologies which are coming up into the market, by using which we can process honey and we can retain these nutrients in a better way than our traditional, you can say, pasteurization process of honey. Here you can see microwave heating or infrared heating, although they are also like heat processing methods, but results has proven that the nutritional losses are lesser in these processes as compared to the traditional heat processing method. Whereas in ultrasonic processing, high frequency sound waves we are using like 9 kilohertz to 18 kilohertz to at a temperature not allowing to go more than 33 35% 35 degrees centigrade, which is like almost equal to the beehive temperature. So by maintaining these conditions, we delay this crystallization and results are better as compared to other processing methods in this. Another non-thermal method is membrane processing, where we are using filtration membranes of 100 to 450 nanometer pore size. But the two major issues with this thing is like honey is highly viscous, so it's tough to pass it through such a small pore size membrane. Another important issue is like after passing it through membrane, all crystals, all solid impurities, they used to go. Along with that, the pollen, they will also be like going out of the honey. So checking the authenticity and few functional parameters will not be possible after membrane processing. The next thing is like what are all the functional aspects they are there, which is useful, which are useful for you can say the health of a human being. As in our inaugural session, our honey mission director also told ki honey, we have to plan to use honey as a medicine or as a therapeutic thing rather than taking it as a food. So these are the reason why we can use honey, or why we can switch to honey for instead of taking it as a food, as a functional food you can say, or as a medicine. So it's a rich source of antioxidants which helps to delay the aging, and it helps to cure several kind of, or you can say help to prevent several kind of cancers, because the free radical formation takes place in everyone's body, and these antioxidants, they act as a squelching agent for those free radical formation, which are sometimes responsible for the aging process, and sometimes they may cause various types of cancers also. Another thing is like anti-atherogenic properties. It helps to keep your heart healthy because it helps to remove the fatty depositions around your arteries or veins, or you can say it helps to squelch the low density lipoproteins, which keeps the flexibility of veins, and then your heart remains healthy for a longer time period. As lesser amount of bound water is free water is present in honey, because of which microorganisms they cannot grow, so it is having antimicrobial activities, and because of presence of hydrogen peroxide produced from glucose during conversion into your this gluconic acid in the presence of enzyme glucose oxidase, acts as an antibacterial agent present in honey. So that's why we use ancestrally or traditionally we were using it as a like healing of the wounds and like on the injuries as a healing agent. Apart from that, it helps to protect your liver damage by having some hepatoprotective actions. It acts as prebiotic, which is like kind of food for your probiotics or gut bacteria, improve your metabolism. That's why in so many advertisements it has been claimed like it helps in reducing weight, although we are consuming sugar, but it helps in reducing weight. That's because of its prebiotic effect, which helps to flourish the probiotics in your gut. Honey having higher fructose content comes under the category of low GI food, and they require lesser amount of insulin to metabolize or to metabolize the sugars of honey. As we have discussed, antimicrobial effect, antibacterial compound, hydrogen peroxide, they are there. We're running short of time, I think. So let's go a little faster. Honey, biological dressing agent, I have already told. It is used in cosmetics. That's why these cosmetic and products are mainly, you can say, promoted with the advertising like the key. It helps in keeping you young for a longer time because of having this antioxidant effects, anti-aging effect because of having antioxidants, radical formation, already we have told. This antioxidant activity is more in a fresh honey. With the passage of time, you can say one of the research shows like 30% antioxidant activity usually reduces if we'll keep honey for 6 months. After that, if we'll check, 30% of the antioxidant activity has been reduced. So we have to try to consume fresh honey. And then adulteration, important, you can say quality concern. Nowadays, so many adulterants, manufacturers, processors, or at different levels they are doing, and it has been reported that they are adulterating directly or indirectly. Direct adulteration is kind of thing like they are adding some kind of syrups or other things which are like having composition exactly similar to that of a natural honey. Or in indirect adulteration, they are feeding bees on sugar syrups so that they are like not taking nectar from the flowers. Toxins as such, not any serious case has been reported, but if nectar has been taken from some plant which is toxic in nature or allergic in nature, then there may have a chance of having several kind of allergies or some issues. But till now, no such major outbreak has been reported. And then spores of certain bacteria like Clostridium, they can survive and they may cause some issues. That's why honey is not recommended for infants below 11 months. Some of the product, although Nanda sir shown so many products which he has developed in his lab, apart from that, powdered honey and honey spreads, they are there, table honey kind of things are available, and bakery products, sir has told. Some of the brands which are available in the market. Apart from this, as per the RDA, almost 1 gram of honey per kg of your body weight you can take, and like 50 to 80 gram of honey taking every day, you can see results after 4 to 6 weeks. So this is from processing and value addition side. Thank you. And I would like to thank Director NIFTM, ODOPT, Madam Shinija, Dr. Mahendran, for giving this opportunity to me to present in front of all you guys. Thank you. If you have any queries, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful presentation. One question we take today. Sir, hi. I'm a small farmer with 5 acres of land doing organic agriculture. Our neighboring farmers are using all sorts of chemical for pesticides and plant growth. How can we keep honey bees in this scenario?
As per like apiculture, there's a like consideration that a bee usually travel in a radius of 5 kilometers surrounding its beehive. So restricting them up to within this place is not easy, and that's an issue. But I don't think like we can restrict them by putting nets and this kind of thing. You can restrict up to certain extent, but that's not a permanent solution.
Thank you so much, sir. I think your presentation is so wonderful, and people initiate that how we can do that different kind of products. So thank you so much, sir. Now we are moving towards the next technical session, which is on packaging solution for honey-based products. For this, we have Dr. Anand Kumar, sir, from NIFTM Thanjavur. He is a professor and head of the packaging department. So I would quickly introduce sir to you. Prior joining to NIFTM Thanjavur, he has served as an assistant professor in the Department of Marine Biotechnology, College of Marine Science and Technology in Northeast Africa. He has 15 years of experience in teaching and research, also specialized in designing of food processing equipments and development of sustainable packaging materials. He has developed many processing equipment and technology like continuous type counter current form mat dryer, solar packed bed dryer, vegetable rotated washer, and many more. I welcome you, sir, and thank you for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, dear participants. These sections we will see about packaging of honey and what are the packaging equipment they are using it, what are the standards for packing of honey, and what are the regulations which has been given from FSSAI, particularly for this packaging and labeling of honey that we can see. As we know, as a previous speaker also, he informed many things about the honey. So it's a natural gift. So it has many antioxidants and health benefit issues are there. The thing is the preservation or bottling of that honey, it's very, very important because during that storage, there should not be any quality changes should be taken place. So in such a case, the honey, it has to be stored in a proper way where that moisture content should be lesser level, it should not react. And another thing, that atmospheric conditions, so where you are storing, that is also very, very important. And in this case, that packaging will support you to protect your food items from all these environmental factors. So mainly what kind of packaging material that we are using it, that we'll see. Even you can see that HMF content, that methyl perphenol content. So that also will judge the quality of the honey. So during that storage, that value also will change. So whenever it has the changes are increasing that value, so that time also that quality will deteriorate. So in such a case, it is very important that storage plays also very much importance, particularly in the honey. If you see the shelf life, whenever we are doing any processing or any product, actually the shelf life, it is mainly depending on, one is the processing method, what you are following. And another thing is what is the packaging materials you are selecting for the particular commodity. So in such a case, what is the importance you are giving for the processing aspect? In the same case, that packaging also very much important. And also, if you see, honey may be directly bottled into the small or retail containers. For example, you can see in the peoples, you can see in the local market, they will sell the honey in the container, and directly they can bottle it and they will give it to you. And sometimes, if you want to export this honey for bulk production and export purpose, so in such a case, the larger containers are used for packing this honey material. In general, that the packaging material which is used for the honey, mainly we can say that glass bottles, because we are predominantly using glass bottles for preserving that honey. And nowadays you can see in the market that plastic-based packaging material also which is used in the honey. And there are many designs and styles of the bottles are available to attract the consumers. In the market you can see. So in the collection center, the harvesting center, they are using different kinds of storage containers, particularly either they can use the PET plastic containers, okay, that are harvesting and collection center. And as well as if you see in the processing center, so after that heat treatment, they may store that honey in the stainless steel containers or stainless steel drum. And similarly, if it is a retail container, they will fill it in a small bottles or PET bottles, otherwise they will pack it in a drum. And these are all the shapes you can find it in the market. One thing is to attract the consumer, to attract the children, and the bottles are ergonomically designed to handle it in a such a way that there will not be any spillage or any slippness will be taking place. So in such a case, whenever you want to brand or whenever you want to withstand in the processing center, always you should have a unique production methodology, as well as should have a product marketing strategies. So that is very, very important. So in such a case, even sometimes the people will make a very good honey, even it can be a uniform floral honey, or sometimes they will sell it in the normal glass container, which will not have a good appeal. So in such a case, automatically what we can say that will. Okay, so in such a case, these four functions are very, very important, because when you see the containment, the size of the packaging material also which will be varying. For example, you can see the market that a honey bottle which is available in a Dabur 100 ml, 250 ml or 500 ml. So here you can see the containment which is varying according to the consumer demand. And also you can see the communication, the labels what you are giving, and the protection, what kind of packaging material you are selecting that can protect your product from environmental factor, particularly the biotic and abiotic things. And as well as that convenience form. Okay, so even if you see sometimes the honey based material inside, they will give the type of the scoop or spoon, so that can easily take the known quantity, the ounce or the dosage level. So again the spillage in the flour and other things. So those things are also given in the packaging material to make it more convenient to use this honey for the consumers. Any product, okay, not only honey, without packaging, it is imaginable to extend the shelf life of the product, to brand or market this product. So it is very, very important. And also the packaging material that will retain the goodness and the freshness of that honey. It is also important. Even you can see that honey, they may give that shelf life 1 year also, 12 months. You can see some of the part, they can give 12 months also, it is there. So which means it even if it is harvested, processed in proper condition, if it's not properly packed and stored, then this environmental, particularly the temperature, relative humidity and moisture, that will affect the quality of the product. So as well as that the storage containers, it should be made by the glass stainless steel, okay, metal coated also, which is nowadays using it, metal coated with food approval plastics. For example, you can have this metallized film with food grade plastic materials. So that is also using. Even this bee wax materials, okay, that honey bee, after harvesting, they will have the honey bee wax. So that is also nowadays used in the packaging industry. All the features of packaging, you can see it should be protect the food items to control that odorless, okay, easy to fill state, the easy removal of honey, because that honey is a viscous material. So when you see that packaging material or that accessory material, it has to support to take the materials whenever we want it. So that is another thing. Absence of metal exposure, leak-proof, airtight. Okay, so that strong barrier properties. As I told you, whenever you want to control that moisture and air as well as that light intrusion. So in such a case, you can have this barrier-proof material. That is very, very important. Yeah, because you can see that stainless steel SS 314 or 316 or 306, which will be used. So it is a food contact material that can be used. Apart from that, in the retailing center, they may use that glass bottles or plastic bottles. And exporting of this honey in a larger quantity, mainly they use that stainless steel containers or lacquer coated containers that is highly used in the processing industries. And apart from that, you can see the closures, particularly if you take that glass bottles or PET containers. So the closure types will be used. That is called ROBP, okay, roll-on flare proof. Closures are used in the honey bottles to maintain the air tightness in the storage environment. So the major factors, as I told you, mainly you can see the factors which will affect. We already told that the relative humidity, temperature, the moisture, that will be affecting that honey product. So in such a case, if you see the packaging materials, okay. So this crystallization and fermentation and the color, okay, these things should not be changed. So your packaging material that should maintain these things. Okay, availability and the cost of filling technology and packing materials. Okay, for example, the thumb rule will say always you can spend 8 to 10% of the cost for the packaging material. If you have a product something around 100 rupees for the packaging material, 8 to 10 rupees. So your product cost totally which will come 108 rupees or 110 rupees. So in such a case, that selection of that packaging material cost involvement, that is also very much required whenever you do the processing and selling the product. Okay, so recyclability, that is another issues nowadays in our country. It is alarming, that environmental issues. Okay, whenever you select any packaging material, that should not pollute the environment. So in such a case, the sustainable packaging materials or recyclable, reusable packaging materials are highly recommended in the food packaging industry. So in such a case, if you see the glass bottles, you can go for many times that recycling process. So that is the thing we can use it, and it is also inert material that can be used. So the glass bottles you can see in the market for the honey particularly, that wider mouth glass bottles are highly used, and some cases this narrow mouth glass bottle are also used. So this packaging of this for the honey, we are using that type 2 or type 3 types of glass, we are using it, and we are using the closures. It is either it can be a thread type or a lug type closures. We are using it for packaging of honey. And this is the process flow. As you know that the melting point of that glass bottle is 1300 or 1500 degrees centigrade. So which is very, very inert material. It will not react with the food items very easily. So your product can be safely stored for a longer period. Yeah, now you can see that the press and blow method or blow and blow method or narrow press and blow method, that three things are they are using it. And here you can see sometimes our honey materials are filled in a transparent container, this type of white container, and it is fully covered. Here you can have the labeling also. Sometimes if the food materials that has been affected by the UV source or UV light, then you can select this ampered colored glass bottles. So that can be used. But for the honey now, currently we are using this transparent bottle because the people, they want to see the honey in the conditions, how it is there. So that is the glass bottles we are using it mainly. And second, we are using that plastic container. The plastic container advantages is it is less in weight, cost is very cheap. Okay, the empty weight of the container is very less, handling is very easy. Okay, and it can support the machinability also, that filling and corking, all this area that will also support similar to glass bottle. So in such a case, that PET bottles are highly used in the honey packing industries. Okay. So here you can see that polyethylene terephthalate, because it has a very good tensile strength, clarity. Okay, and also it has the high thermal stability also. So these PET containers are used. And some cases that closures, you can see that closures are used to polypropylene normally. And another thing, you can have these LDPE containers. Okay, these LDPE containers that is used for the handling and processing centers. Okay, for keeping the honey. Otherwise, in the refilling center, they will use these LDPE containers. So that is also there. Okay, so the different shapes, as I told you, there are different attractive shapes with the dispensers. Okay, display it's available. So here that will support you, the consumers. There should not be any spillage, and what we can say, even a small leakages which comes. Okay, even sometimes that what we can say, it can be polluted in environment. Okay, so that should be avoided. So in such a case, this type of closures, you can see that can have a very high level of protectives for your honey materials. Stainless steel drums, okay, in the processing centers, okay, 250 liter drums are there. Okay, otherwise 150 or 100 liter drums or stainless steel drums are there according to the processing center usages and for the transportation purpose. And these are all the different filling equipments we are using it. Either it can be a vacuum filling or continuous vacuum filling method, or you can use this type of that nitrogen gas flushing with a filling unit. Okay, like a paper boat, how they are filling. Okay, these type of machines are there. Otherwise, you can have this type of pneumatic operated machine, either hand operated or pedal foot operated. Otherwise, you can see this type of continuous form field sealing machines. So these things are used for packing honey in the industries. And these are all the different kinds of the sealing equipments which is also used. So particularly, you can see that induction sealing, it is used to closure of the bottleneck. So they are using that induction sealing. Otherwise, other type of sealings, you can use this corking or that band sealer or stand-up band sealer or box sealer. So these are all the things. For example, you want to go for some secondary packaging, keeping some 10 packets or pouches in a small plastic container, then you can use this type of box sealers. Okay, so apart from that major honey, that honeybee wax also it is used in the packaging industry. So the wax which can be converted into these solid boxes. So there you can keep these candles, or it can be used in the soap industry also. Honeybee waxes also which is used in the horticulture area for the coating of the material. So that the pure honeybee waxes, okay, after processing, so that can be used in different proportions for preserving the fruits and vegetables. Okay, particularly you can see in some of the apples, okay, they are using it this what we can say the paraffin wax. Okay, so in some cases this natural based lipids also can be used in the packaging industries. Labeling of the honey, so as per the FSSAI regulations, the labeling also very much important. So normally whenever you label this honey, this nutritive profile, it has to be given, the positioning and the logo, all these dimensions, it has been given in the particular size. So that has to be maintained when you label the honey. So these are all the different labeling equipments we are using it. For examples, glue, okay, glue on labels. So here what you can do, you can take the label, you can apply the glue, then you can paste it on the bottles, or with self-adhesives like a sticker-based glues are there. So that you can directly print on the honey bottle. Otherwise, you can have this in mold labels. Okay, so here you can have that embossing type of things. You can, by the heat treatment, you can make the branding in the packaging material itself. Otherwise, you can have these sleeve labels. Okay, you can print the label separately. Then, according to the bottle, the size and the dimensions, it can be applied on the packaging materials by using that shrink labeling method. Okay, shrinking process. These are all the things are there. And coming to that FSSAI standard, okay, when you label it, okay, they given like a general food items. Okay, there are 13 parameters. It has to be printed on the labels, so which includes that brand or company name. Okay, the net weight of the product. Okay, the ingredients, nutrition profile. Okay, all these things it has to be mentioned. And also you should give that FSSAI license number. That is very, very important when you sell the product. So, and another thing, this batch number and manufacture date, expiry date, all these things it has to be mentioned. So as I told you, so the brand value, for example, whenever you label it, okay, so sometimes this thing of honey, something you are mixing 2-3 things, then if you are packing, okay, so that mixture of the blossom or nectar honey or honeydew honey, so those things it has to be given. And another thing, if you see that storage conditions, normally the shelf life of that honey, you can see even it is stored properly, you can have 1.5 to 2 years. And honey can be stored in the airtight glass container or plastic containers. So normally it has to be stored below 37-degree temperature. In our region, the temperature, it will be varying from 28 to 37. So that can be there. Optimal storage condition, normally if you want to store longer period, 10 to 25 degrees highly recommended. And also keep the honey in cool and dry place. It should be always avoided directly exposure to the sunlight. That is very, very important. Okay. With this, I thank the organizer for giving this opportunity. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. Okay, and after all presentation, I can interact. Can
Thank you so much, sir.
answer for those questions. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an informative presentation. Sir, there is no question from the participants. So we are moving forward to the next technical talk, which is on honey and its quality assurance. For this, we have for this session, we will just have a Dr. KT Vijay Kumar, Assistant Professor, US Bangalore. I would quickly like to introduce sir to you. He holds a degree in PhD, Pollination Biology, Bee Ecology, Honey and Bee Products and Beekeeping. He has more than 8 years of teaching experience and research experience in his field. He published more than 7 research papers, 17 extracts, and 7 book chapters, and worked on the 11 sponsored projects worth rupees 82 lakhs, such as holistic management strategies for Thai sac broad virus for honey bees in Karnataka and vice versa. He developed 4 technology as double queen system for management of Apis cerana, the adoption of 6-frame ISI A type B hive for Apis cinerea in Karnataka, and many more. He was awarded as a young scientist during the Asia Pacific Conference on Beekeeping for Sustainable Agriculture, Ecosystem Services, and Rural Livelihood held on 18th to 20th May 2022 in Bangalore, awarded by the Dr. V. Siraram Research Foundation Bangalore, and many more. I welcome you, sir, in this and thank you for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. So I thank Director Dr. Palanimuthu, sir. So he's my teacher, and for few years we worked as a colleague. So he's my mentor and guide, everything. So thank you for the opportunity. So I'm very happy to be a part of this webinar, especially on honey and other quality issues. So also I thank Mr. Vijay, who is working as bee professional in your institute. So once again, I thank all the organizers for this beautiful webinar organized, especially for the benefit of the not only students, even for the beekeepers and industry people. So I thank one and all. So before my presentation, there were few more talks earlier. They would have covered many things about on the honey. So I just quickly I glance and move, which they have not covered in their. So as we know that from beekeeping, we'll be having two important advantages, that is bee pollination and beehive production, product productions. That is the important one are honey, bee wax, venom, royal jelly, bee pollen, and propolis. If anything interrupt in between, just kindly let me know so that I will get it clarified.
Okay, sir.
So honey, it's a natural substances. So it will be produced by the honeybees. So usually the honeybees, when they visit the flowers for foraging, so they will collect pollen and nectar and sometimes even water and some propolis. The nectar, the honeybee will collect this nectar and stored in the honey stomach, also called as crop. It is the internal part in the abdomen of the honeybees. Then honeybee will carry this nectar and stored in the honeycomb cell. During this process, the honeybee can able to add some enzymes, important enzymes like glucose oxidase, invertase. These enzymes are main responsible for conversion of sugars from sucrose to glucose and fructose. And also due to the activity of bees, especially the fanning activity, tongue lashing activity, they could able to reduce the moisture content in the honey from 40-50% to less than 20%. Then that honey will become a ripened, that is called honey. So this is how the journey from nectar to honey will be taken place in the hive. Problem with the slide moving. Yeah. When you look into the production of honey, so the China always stand first in production. It's almost 458,000 metric tons of honey could able to produce every year. So we could able to produce only 60 plus thousand metric tons of honey. So out of which we also export this honey to major countries like USA and then Dubai and all. So so it is one of the important agriculture product where we could able to export. It is almost nearly 60,000 tons of honey we could able to export from India. So coming to the state share, the UP and West Bengal always they stand first and second position in at the national level. So I think you may aware about the Manuka honey. It is a honey. So it is usually produced in maybe in Australia or New Zealand. But this honey has high antioxidants, especially methyl glycol level. So it is a very huge, and if you just browse the price for this honey, it can reach up to 20,000 per kg because of its high content of antioxidant. Similar kind of antioxidant rich honey we also have in India, but we are very poor in documenting and exploring such kind of properties in our own Indian honey. So it's very important and very much need of the hour to explore the antioxidant properties in Indian honey, because we have a huge diversity like Himalayan region and also Western Ghats in southern part of India. So we could able to get many types of honey, but only we lack in documenting the antioxidants and medicinal value in those kind of honey. So coming to my topic, so just I want to ask a question: which are the most adulterated food in India? So no doubt the milk products, edible oil, and honey they are in the topmost position where these products get most of the times get adulterated. So just to safeguard the customers, so at the international level, there are three important organizations. They could able to fix some standards for this honey. That is Codex Alimentarius Commission, ISO, and WTO. These three important organizations. So they frame some standards and for especially for honey and other products. So that they are going to safeguard the consumers. So this CAC, that is Codex, so commonly called as Food Code or Honey Code. So they also develop some of the standards and parameters. So for honey, even ISO, they also promote, especially for quality management in food products. So World Trade Organization, so it's established between 95 and 96. That is also encouraging to export and import not only honey, many other goods and services and even intellectual properties. So these three important organizations, so they are able to prevent and safeguard the consumers. Coming to India, so we have before FSSAI, we have prevention of food adulteration AGMARC, Bureau of Indian Standards. So these three important acts or organization, they could able to involved in safeguarding the consumers at our national level. So, especially prevention of food adulteration. So it was introduced in 1955. So they also given some parameters for honey, like specific gravity for moisture content, and then sucrose level, fructose, glucose, ash content, and then some test, especially for to detect the adulteration, like fish test. And also they could also given some parameters for hydroxymethyl furfural. So the maximum limit was 80 ppm for HMF. So similarly, Bureau of Indian Standard. So they also introduced. It was introduced in 1994. So they also given some standards, especially for honey and also some beehive products, beehive equipments like beehives, stand, honey extractor. So the honey extractor should be stainless steel with 304. Likewise, the BI is also given. So we have three types of beehives. BAS A type, especially this will be used for rearing the honeybees for southern part of India, AP Serena indica. So BAS type B, that is for northern part of India. Like this, we have three types of hives which are given standards by BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards. And then later Hugmark, it was introduced. So it has given 14 parameters actually for honey. So in addition to 8 or 9 parameters which were formulated by PFA, so it also given other parameters like pollen count, and then optical density, diastase activity, and then water insoluble matters. So even today, so the Hugmark is working well. So after introduction of FSSAI also, it's something like a voluntary. There is no compulsory or mandatory to get AGMARC certificate for any export or import or any marketing of our honey. So it's a voluntary, but they are giving parameters like 14 parameters. They have test and give the certificate. It's just comparison between the three organization, that is Prevention of Food Adulteration, BIS, and AGMARC. And after 2006, so the government of India introduced FSSAI, that is Food License Act. So this will take care of all the food related orders. There was 7 orders like PFA, fruit product order, meat, fruit product order, vegetable oil products, edible oils, solvent extract oil, milk and milk products. So these were combined, and it's just an umbrella FSSAI. Now, not only honey, even all the food products comes under FSSAI. So there are 3 different types of registration or license will be issued by the FSSAI. So if your turnover, if any firm or company has turnover less than 12 lakhs, so they will get a registration license. So if it is between 12 lakhs to 20 crores of turnover, if the company has, then they have to get state license. If it is more than 20 crore, they should get this central license. Like this, 3 types of license the FSSAI is going to issue. So even online also, you can just give the inputs according to the format. You will get this FSSAI license, especially for the registration license. So these are the 20 or 21 parameters. Actually, 20 earlier it was 21. So it was the parameters designed by the FSSAI. So AGMARC has given only 14 parameters due to more adulteration in honey. So FSSAI come with some other parameters like SMR test or TMR test, foreign oligosaccharides, and then carbon isotopes test, and proline content, and determine the proline content in honey. So total oligosaccharides. So all this comes under this FSSAI test. So nearly 20 parameters we have to test for getting the license for our honey. So these are the methodologies given for estimation of these 21 parameters. So honey adulteration. So it's a complex problem which currently has significant economic impact. So, and this adulterated by various adulterants like sugars and then some corn syrups. So there are many things. So in common, so the water, it may be adulterated with sucrose, maltose, starch, jaggery, molasses. And in the next stage, some people even they adulterated with high fructose corn syrup, even corn syrup, sugarcane syrup, beet sugar syrup, rice syrup. So these are the important common adulterants you can see in the adulteration with the honey. Adulteration with C3, C4 sugars, corn syrups, rice syrup, beet sugars, individual sugars, even with sulfite, ammonia, caramel. So these are the common adulterations. So just to authentication of this honey, so we have we can classify all these tests in a two broader sense, that is classical methods and modern methods. So whatever we have up to AGMA, those are all comes under classical methods, that is titration methods for determination of pH, sugars, maybe glucose, fructose, sucrose, and maltose, proline content, diastase activity, moisture content, and then HMF content. So we can easily estimate these parameters in at our lab. So, and melisophalangy studies, that is the study of polymerize which are present in honey, that is called melisophalangy. It is also very important to categorize the honey into monofloral or multifloral honey. So we can count the number of pollen grains, and also we can trace out the source of honey through these melisophalangy studies. So we can make it as a classical methods. So due to other adulterants like corn syrup adulterants or high fructose adulterants, it's very difficult to determine with the classical methods. So there are some advanced methods like HPLC method, GC, LCMS, GCMS, even NMR test, and then some SDS page method. So these are some advanced methods where some developed countries are going to apply for honey tests. So some conventional methods are there. So especially at farmers level, so they used to detect honey adulteration with these conventional methods, that is honey drop test or honey falling test, staining test, burning test, ignition test, ropiness test. So these are all traditional methods, but they have some limitations. If even the pure honey has some higher moisture content like 25% or 30%, so there will be failure of all these methods. So it has its own limitations. And also earlier the adulterant was only with sugar or jaggery. Now they have come up with some synthetic sugars, corn syrup, high fructose sugars. So these methods will not perform will not perform to determine those adulterants. So we have to move forward with advanced methods, as I mentioned in the earlier slides. So these are all tests given by AOAC, and it's there in the HugMark, that is a fish test and a aniline chloride test. So the moisture will be easily detected with refractometer. So some industry people are there. So if you just have some hand refractometer, so just put a drop of honey on the prism, just check for the moisture content. So there are two types of refractometers. Like one refractometer gives only TSS, and another is directly with moisture content. If you have TSS detection refractometer, you just work out the TSS and detect that from 100. So the difference will give the moisture content. If you have the refractometer showing only moisture content, just put a drop and read the values. So it gives the moisture content in the honey. So the moisture content in the honey as per FSSAI, it should be less than 20%. And it's a somewhat lengthy process. Through refractive index, we can also detect the moisture content. And honey color, we have color honey analyzers. So USDA has given some standards. So based on, we can also detect this PFME value, and correspondingly we can say the color of the honey. So the fresh honey may be always light in color. So when you keep it honey for longer days, I mean storage for longer days, so it will turn to darker colors. So maybe the honey may be light amber to dark amber due to storage and temperature. There are various factors so for change the color from lighter to darker. So the specific gravity also can be easily worked out with the specific gravity bottles. After reducing sugars, so it will be worked out with filling solution A and B in the titration method. Sucrose, it is very important. So as per FSSAI and AGMAR, it should be less than 5%. And glucose and fructose. So it is normally between 32 to 34 or 36% in honey, both glucose and fructose. And hydroxymethyl furfural, commonly called as HMF. So the maximum limit was given is 80 ppm. So it should not cross the 80 ppm. It's something like an indicator of the honey adulteration. So if you add any sugar syrup, so there will be a change in the HMF. So if you eat the honey for a longer time, so the HMF will be increased. If you store honey for longer days, again, the HMF will be increased. So there are new methods for honey adulteration detection, that is SMR method for rice syrup. So as I mentioned, so the honey is getting adulterated with some corn syrup or rice syrup or beet sugars. So those things cannot be detected with regular classical methods like titration methods. So the FSSAI designed these methods like SMR and TMR methods. So this will be detected with GCMS or LCMS. So the graph will be obtained, that is chromatogram. So there will be a change in the peak, so that through this we can detect the adaptation is for rice syrup and also for beet syrup. So, and also pollen count is also most important. So we have to know the source of the honey. So if you say the honey is from sunflower or eucalyptus or coffee, you should know the pollen grains. The such type of pollen should be present in our honey. So the it's already there. It's in ready-made form. So you can get it in the online. So you just observe the pollen grains under the microscope, so that if the pollen like sunflower pollen is present in our honey, we can say sunflower honey. There is one category, that is if the pollen count is more than 45%, then we call it as a monoflora honey. So likewise, if there are 3-4 types of pollen types, then it may be called as multifloral honey. So so acetylysis method we are following so to work out this mesopanology. And there is always one there will be one queries, that is crystallization and fermentation. So crystallization is nothing but a granulation. So the honey will get crystallized when you keep it in a refrigerator, or even at room temperature also. Most of our Indian honeys get crystallized. So what may be the reason? So the reasons are plenty. So the one important reason is there will be a change in the sugar ratio. So in general, the fructose content in honey always higher than glucose. So in few cases, the glucose content, like in sunflower honey or mustard honey, the glucose content may be higher than the fructose. That may be one of the reason. And the second reason is the moisture content in the honey. So if it is less than 15% or 12% moisture in the honey, then there will be a problem of this crystallization. And then, so another reason is storage temperature. So if you place the honey in the refrigerator less than 10 degrees Celsius, then again you will be having the problem of crystallization. So, and another reason is plant source. The plant source, some pollens, so they are called as some nucleus, they make the honey crystallization. So there are several reasons for crystallization. So people think that if the honey get crystallized or granulated, then they think that it's a adulterated honey or bad honey. So crystallization is a natural process. So the most of our Indian honey gets crystallized. It's a good for even it is a fit for consumption. So you just keep it in the hot water bath for a few minutes or hours. So the honey gets its original position, and you can use that honey. So in developed countries, so the crystallized honey will be used just like a jam with fruits or bread. So it's a natural process. So don't think that all the crystallized honeys are adulterated honey. So another type of honey called as fermentation honey. So sometimes the honey get fermented. So the fermentation is mainly due to the activity of the microbes, especially Saccharomyces yeast. So when there is a higher moisture content, that is more than 25%, then it is a favorable condition for the activity of this Saccharomyces. So then it leads to fermentation. So something like a foam will be formed on the surface of the honey, and there will be a accumulation of carbon dioxide on the top surface. When you open the cork of a honey bottle, so you can see the outgoing of this gas. So and you can smell it is something like vinegar or wine smell. So it is called as fermentation honey. So these are the two types. So always we have doubt about these types. So the crystallized, this one is a crystallized honey. Okay, fermentation is due to because of this Saccharomyces. So with this, I would like to conclude my talk. If you have any doubts or questions, I'm very happy to take up those questions. And once again, I thank all the organizers and especially Director Dr. Palanimuthu sir. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, there is one question. How to find adulteration in honey for traditional method?
Okay. So actually, there are several methods, madam. So adulteration, if it is jaggery or sugar solution, so we can easily check with some aniline chloride or resorcinol solution. So if it is with some like corn syrup or high fructose content, it's very difficult with this titration methods. Then we have to go with some GCMS, LCMS or NMR test.
Thank you so much, sir, for wonderful presentation. Now we are moving to the next technical talk, which is on marketing and branding for honey value added products. For this session, we have with us Dr. Ajita Sondra Raj, Assistant Professor, IIM Trichy. I would like quickly introduce ma'am to you. She has 5 years of teaching experience and worked at Amrita School of Business, Coimbatore, and School of Entrepreneurship and Management Studies, SRM University, Andhra Pradesh. She has presented her paper at the top-notch marketing international conferences, both in national and international level. She won the title of Market Masters for winning the Marketplace simulation game organized by the University of Tennis, USA. Her fundamental research and teaching interests include doctoring marketing, fashion and brand management, new technology adoption, and many more. She was invited as an advisory member for the conference event and a guest speaker in various B schools in India. I welcome you, ma'am, and thank you for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, ma'am.
Thank you for introducing me, and thank you for the organizer and the event. This is a very wonderful and informative program for many of the people who would really badly wanted to know about how the honey manufacturing process works. And also, Miss Chaya Nanjapa had given you a lot of clarification. I don't know whether I could able to give you the real-time experience of how this honey processing works, and also but my perception is all about the customer, since we do a lot of research about the what consumer will expect at the end once you provide the finished product. Right. So is my PPT visible, or is there any glitch in between?
No, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Okay,
Your
fine.
PPT is visible. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Okay. So basically, I do research about the consumer and the product. So most of my research talks about the consumer psychology and sociology based. And also I talk a little bit about the values and ethics. So it's very important for the marketer to understand not only to push the product in the market, also it's all about how you are going to add more value to the product and what are the offerings you are giving to the consumer. And based on that offering, consumer has to be more excited and feel like wanted to pay more and sustain in your own business. So when we talk about the customers, customers are the people who push your product in the market and make your product throughout the entire strategic plan you have made for your business. So it's very important to entitle the customer and delight them by giving a lot of offering, because there are a lot of competition going on, and it's not going to be really easy for any of the organization to cope up with the tough competition. So how different are you from other competitor is one of the question that has to be asked by any of the organization. Okay. So my slide is not moving. Yeah, it's moving. Thank you. So it's very important to know that who are your target audience, and also it's very important to know that which are the pain points and touch points of the customer. So when we talk in marketing, literally we concentrate more on the pain points of the customer, because customer need a product. Already you understand, as a firm producer, the customer has a huge need for the honey, and but basically there are enormous amount of honey available in the market. Now, what would be the best honey? What would be the finest amount of honey quality I can gain from this product or from this company? This information has to be provided to the customer, which is the touch point, which talks about the expression and impression. How you are going to impress your customer by giving a value, the value that is going to be more authentic and going to be more ethics based. So it's very important. You have to see what is the need of the customer. It's not only providing the need of the customer, it's also solving the problem of the customer, because it's very difficult for the customer to identify which is the best brand or best product in the market. And it's also the customer has to be very much informed about what extra additional special requirement had been provided in your product, apart from the locally produced or the products which doesn't have maintain the quality of the ethical procedures. So values and ethics are the most important component that we used to talk in as a marketer if you wanted to sustain in your business for a very long period. So some of the business people, nurture their business based on their passion and their discipline, as like nectar producer Miss Chaya Nanjapa was talking about, is more about the passion and how do we help our community. That is also very important, because which talks about the corporate social responsibility, literally in the technical term of the marketing aspects. So what you are going to sell, which is what is unique in your product or brand, lecturing about that is easy, but bringing that value into the product which already exists and telling to the customer that what is your unique selling proposition is not going to be easy. Many of the firms or the producers, either they will take the patent and register it, what is the uniqueness they have in the product, so that others will not copy the same. And that could be the one reason you can sell it. And also some people, based on your unique selling proposition, they will try to fix a higher price for the product. This is how majority of the marketers take this as an opportunity cost, where they wanted to sell the product at a premium quality. When there is a premium quality, obviously the customer will believe that there is something that which has higher benefit, and they would be ready to pay any amount for that product. So customer is not now the customers are more savvy. They can understand, you can do the Google search, you can identify and differentiate. People are more loud compared to the way, a decade back. If you see, whatever you sell, the people will buy, because it's more of scarce product. Many of the products are more scarce, and now the products are like everywhere. We can find, if you want to find honey in a Google, if I wanted to search, I can search several amount of product. So how I'm going to be more different and unique among the customer? So which we talk about, the honey is more about the health and wellness. When it is health and wellness, what message you are going to deliver to the customer it's a crucial point. And another aspects of the marketing is presence. Where are you standing, and where do you keep your product, and how do you contact your third parties or the distribution channel? How you're going to maintain the relationship with them in order to put your product everywhere in the marketplace, because its customer reachability is very important. It's easy, you can make a awareness about the product. You can, now if everything is free, if you go with the search engine optimization in the Google search, it's easy, you can find a lot of products. But how this product is going to be more presentable to the customer when they see this product, how it's going to be more highlighted when they are filtering about a lot of honey products, how your product going to be more visible, right? That's very important. So distribution and the product making accessible to many number of customer, and also maintaining the strong relationship with the vendors and online partners, where we talk about now recently we started talking more about the influencer who comments about the product. It's another people we majority of the top tier industries, they started hiring influencers so that they can talk about the product and also they can give little bit demo about the product. Then which also talks about the price, product and promotion. And the promotion, most of the people wanted to talk about the product and promote their product in the marketplace only when they have something to tell among the customers. What information that you wanted to convey to the customer. So collaboration and partnership is another way to connect with your channels, where we talk about the place here. So collaboration and partnership is all about connecting with the local partnership, and the MD of Nectar was talking about that. We connected with our local farmers and the tribal people, and we work along with them and collect the honey, and then there would be production process and we sell to the customer. So this is one way to do. Another way, if it is a mass produced product, they try to connect with a lot of corporates. And for instance, if it is a health and fitness product, then even they will try to collaborate with the gym owners and other fitness centers also. So some of the product has certain level of value to be connected and also to be to maintain the relationship with different type of partners. So it's for honey, it's not going to be very complicated because it's one of the most essential product. And now as a marketer, you have to define yourself that how your essential product going to be more specific and unique product among the customers. Then the sustainability and social responsibility, when we talk, when we see, when we Google or when we do purchase activity in Amazon, we can find a lot of honey products, but there are a lot of greenwashing is also happening in the market, because people used to say that where does it come from? The product we have collected is organic and which is non-organic. They will try to do this guerrilla marketing also, which they try to attack the competitors also. So this greenwashing is sometimes unbelievable for the customer, when it is open and known. When you don't have registration, when you don't have proper trademark and patent, the customer could able to recognize it and identify it easily, because it's now the transparency is way more far better than the way we have seen a decade ago. So sustainability and social responsibility, if you are more passionate about your business and if you maintain all this, ethics and authentic way of approaching the business, the business will run on its own rather than keeping a lot of frills and fancies in your products. Right. As I was mentioning about the USP promotion, it's all about delighting the customer. So customer doesn't have anything like, the product is scarce and I'm going to stick with one product. So there are a lot of products in the market, and how you are going to delight the customer. So some of the, industries, they talk much about the natural process, and there are also different level of, combination they have in the product, whether it comes from the forest or it comes from the multiflora, or what are the ingredients they are adding, only not the honey. And yeah, you have already had attended a lot of sessions before mine, so you must have heard about, there are a lot of other additional flavors you can add with the existing honey product. So that is the one of the essence that you can bring in the business in order to tell the customer that it has different purposes of using the product, right? So it's not only about that, and it's also about how the customer believe that your product has some good essence rather than just telling the customer that it has. So you need a proper evidence in order to prove it in the market also. So once you could able to identify by the customer in the market, let's say your product is supplied all throughout the country and everyone can visibly see your product. Now the customer can visibly see your product. If the competitor products are nearby, which product is more often used and taken? It's one of the survey we can take and understand that where the customer is towards your product and whether do they aware about your product or not. If they are aware about your product, where your product awareness level is. For instance, are they satisfied with your product? Because we can keep our product everywhere, but there are also some wrong impressions will be made. Because of the wasted impression, we try to invest a lot in advertisement and other costs and believing that customer have a liking, but not exactly true. Because sometimes there would be non-profitable customer also. They will just walk into the store and try to pick the product and doesn't mean that they are going to be your long-term customer. When we talk about the customer equity, it's all about how much lifetime value do they have towards your product or brand. So when we talk about the customer equity, it's also about if the customers are highly profitable, we will try to give them a lot of offers and discounts and reward them so that we can retain them later. Once we retain them later, we can also understand that whether the customers will help you to enhance the product furthermore. And when you're going to introduce new product as the extension of your own honey product, then customer may also will not be reluctant to buy the same brand because you are already well in the market and you have established a strong image among the customer's mind. So it's easy for the customer to choose your product when you're already building a strong equity, because this equity helps most of the business to put it in open forum for the shareholders, because shareholders start investing that when the customer equity is more stronger. Once the customer equity is more stronger, the brand equity will also try to complement itself as a best of the product in the market. Right. So again, when we talk about the branding, there are two ways the people try to brand their product. One is the high margin and low volume product, or high volume and the low margin product. So when it is a high volume and low margin product are mass produced and available to more number of customers, the price of the product would be lesser. They may not have much unique selling proposition technique, but the product will be available in all over the places in the market. So they may have a higher lesser margin compared to the product which has a unique and but they sell fewer product in the market, but they have a higher margin because that product has some quality and the benefit and the functionality would be much higher than the normal products. So it's a tug of war between the premium and masstige product, because some of the premium product will not have a good self value in the retail market. If you go to the retail market, we could not able to find the most specific premium product in the market. The reason is the self of the retail showrooms will be occupied by the majority of the top marketers. Like, I do not want to tell the name of the major marketers because we already consume a lot of the brands. So those marketers try to put a lot of money in the retail showrooms to occupy those spaces. So it's very difficult for the local marketers and the local farmers to put their original product in the shelf, even if it does have a lot of quality. It's again tough competition for the local marketers and farmers to display the product in the retail forum. And when we talk about the mastery, it's all about the point of parity and difference. So some of the major where I was talking about the masstige brand is a mass-produced product. They always try to imitate the brand of others, or they will maintain the same competitive price of others. But the point of difference is more about, you have a honey product, but apart from honey product, how much value addition has been enabled in the services, and after sales service, how the customer do they feel, and when the customers feel delighted or feel excited about buying this product again, they keep buying it and they will not switch to the competitive brands also. Right. So it's very important as a brand manager or as a marketing manager to maintain the brand credibility, which talks about how your product is more attractive among the customer and how you are highly expertised in bringing the product in the market. For instance, we talk about the ability of the producers of the beehives, because sometimes the bee must be grown in a proper ecosystem, and if the customers are well aware about it and customers know that they have some expertise in producing the honey, the customer will not be have a grinch on using the other products rather than using your product. So expertise, attractiveness, and trustworthiness is very important. Before the trustworthiness, how you are going to gain the trust? So it's very important for the producer to be more honest towards the customer, so that you can gain a trust among the customer. Once the customer trust has been gained, the loyalty will be automatically coming forward to your business. So it's very important to be more authenticated and attractive, and to be more expertised in your business, and so that you can gain the trust. Before the trust, you have to be more honest about what you are selling and how you are producing and where your farm is available, and what kind of good ecosystem you have in your business. So attitude formation, and once the credibility is formed, the customer might provide a positive attitude. With the higher credibility, then the higher attitude they have. When we talk about the attitude, usually the first thing the functions in our mind is cognitive evaluation. That what kind of product it is, where do they come from, who is producing it, is it going to benefit any of the other people, do they have any social responsibility, are they profit making company? These are the information they will try to enhance and evaluate it, and later it will be converted into affective mode. For instance, how I can attach towards the brand, since it has a lot of value toward the business. And once it has been developed, the people start reacting and responding in the way of purchasing the product again and again, and they will not think of switching to the other brands as well. So brand identity, creating an identity is not an easy job for many of the business owner, because it has to be like, storytelling. As I was mentioning about the brand credibility, you have to tell the customer, inform the customer that where the product come from, how you are serving the society, and how these farmers are you have to consider the well-being of the people also. So at the end of the product, when you're finishing your product producing, it's not only the profit making product, it's also about how the customer feel relieved, and while tasting the honey, I feel like I wanted to get relieved of buying it, and I want to keep buying it because it provides a lot of benefits to me. So storytelling, it's like, you have to narrate your story, that how you're producing, where it is coming from, and at the end, whom we are reaching. And at the end, the customers are really happy because they are buying it and they are feeling it. So best, the way to tell that, one of the best way to tell the customer that, yes, this is the way we are producing and what are the components we are using, and we are not doing any green washing or eye washing. Every business that comes from is highly patented or has been registered, has been informed well, rather than talking more about your brand name or the product itself, where you come from, and this is what the brand is. We are in the top market. That's not going to help the customer. Customer finally to think about how the quality of the product is. So these are the logos. Majority of people try to communicate with the people, either the honey or where the honey takes the nectar, or the people who gather the honey. So where the form of the honey. So these are the logos. They try to put it in their brand just to communicate and tell the story that where the product comes from. Then talking about the product.
Sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
Actually, we are shortage of time. Can you
Yes, I
complete
will
in
finish.
5 minutes? Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sure,
Thank you.
sure. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Right. So as I was talking about the credibility, it's a very crucial for any of the brand owner to be more minimum and simple, that how do you keep your brand image among the marketers and among the customer, because the customer have to choose your product because not of lot of description. When you talk lot, people will ignore the product, thinking that it's trying to sell the product rather than satisfying the need of the customer. So it's always a better way to communicate less and put the product in a better way in the marketing forum. So there are researchers used to test the product whether it has a good combination of all the color and whether it provides the quality, whether it has a better functionality, and then customers start being more individual towards choosing the product rather than being more collective. So when we are collective, we ask around the people and then choose the product. Rather than that, if your product is highly communicable by the image and by the visualization, the customer automatically try to take your product, because the research also says that 81% of consumers try new products just because the product packaging caught their eye. It's very important to have what combination do you bring in the product image. Right. So value co-creation, you have to, transparency and traceability and environmental stewardship that I was talking about, how many people are served and how many local partners are getting benefit out of it. That adds value. And community engagement, it's like, people start having a forum in online or offline. They will talk about the product, or they will conduct some events and try to promote the product to the others, and which the word of mouth will be created towards the product. And certification and standards, these are the value co-creation you can make. When you create a value, it automatically make the people to be more attached towards the product. Because when we talk about the loyalty is more about the attitudinal loyalty rather than a behavior loyalty. Because behavior loyalty is all about you keep the products in the market so that customer do not have any option to choose the best product. So there is a pressure for the customer to pick the product because the best product is not available in the market. That's the behavior loyalty. Loyalty should come from the feeling and attachment from the customer itself. Okay, so I will stop here. If any questions, you can post.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an informative presentation. Participants, if you have any question, you can post it. Otherwise, we can proceed to the next session. Ma'am, I think there is no question from the participants. It's very informative and very understandable.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now we are moving to the next technical session, which is our second technical session on PMFME guidelines, FSSAI packaging and DPR outlooks. For this, we are moving towards next technical talk, which is on FSSAI licensing and registration for registration for honey processing and microprocessing unit. For this, we have Dr. R. Vidyalakshmi ma'am, Professor and Head of Department of Food Safety and Quality Testing, Nifton Thanjavur. She received her MSc in Agriculture Biology, Microbiology from Tamil Nadu University, Coimbatore, and PhD from Shastra University. She joined the institute as a scientist in 2004. She is an active member of Center of Excellence on Green Sciences, contributing to grains research and its analysis. She is a life member of Association of Microbiologists of India. She is an expert in microbial safety and quality testing of foods. She published a numerous research paper in peer-reviewed national and international journals. She is a reviewer of the reputed journals in food microbiology and food processing. Thank you. I welcome you, ma'am, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to the session on the FSSAI licensing and registration for honey processing units. So in India, like a Food Safety Standards Authority of India, I think the earlier speaker, Dr. Vijay Kumar, has already briefed on this. So FSSAI is the domestic regulation which governs import and export of commodity in food within the country and also outside the country. So in case if we wanted to pursue some export as well. So as he rightly pointed out, FSSAI is a pooled under one umbrella, and the act was enacted in 2006 and the regulation was passed in 2011. So according to this regulation, we have a licensing and registration of food businesses Regulation 2011. So as per this, there are two aspects as he has already, I think, mentioned. So FSSAI registration is for petty food business operators. So petty food business operators are food business operators who are having a business volume not exceeding 12 lakhs per annum. That is small scale, cottage level, micro scale level industries. So all of us will be covered under the petty food business operator. So where our annual income is less than 12 lakhs. So it is sufficient if we obtain a registration, FSSAI registration, for us to pursue the business in food. So the modalities for this is we may require a photo, a government issued photo ID, and a proof of address of business activity. So the process is completely online. So we can just log into this website, which is an FSSAI website, and this portal is specifically for licensing and registration. This is FOSCOS, www.foscos.fssai.gov.in. So after logging on to this, you have a tab where you have to go and click for registration. And after clicking on that, we have to apply for a registration certificate. So with a valid OTP and a mobile number and a valid email ID should be offered during registration, to which a OTP will be sent, which will be validated, and later on you can move on to the new registration. So when you move on to the new registration, the particulars on the form needs to be filled out and you can submit the application. So the requisite fee here is just 100 rupees for registration. If at all required, once the application is submitted on the portal, what will happen is a unique application reference number will be generated. You can keep this reference number for your further reference till you get the registration number. So if at all required, the registration authority may inspect your premises if he wishes to do so. And after inspection, if things are not found in order, you may be given a stipulated period for rectification, for correctness of and to align with the compliance of the regulation. So after clearing and compliance with the regulation, a registration ID will be issued for the FBO to start the business. So in case of license, there are two types: a state license and a central license. The state license is for a business volume within 12 lakhs to 20 crores, and a central license for more than 20 crore of business. So some of the additional documents required for licensing may include like you have to specify the list of equipments, the machineries used in processing along with your installed capacity. The analytical reports needs to be produced. Even for registration, you need to produce the analytical reports and the reports stating that the water which is used is of potable nature, and you have to specify your kind of business, because some of them may be manufacturers of honey, some of them may be just repackers or relabelers. So you have to specify the kind of business which you are going to pursue, and in that kind of business, what are all the commodities which you would like to cover. So this needs to be filled in Form B and submitted. The rest of the process will be the same, and this is the requisite fee for licensing or registration. And a 14-digit number will be generated as your registration or a license number, and it's a essential mandatory labeling requirement that you print this FSSAI logo along with the alphanumeric number which is being assigned to you. And the first number will denote the FSSAI registration or license. The next two digits will represent the state code. The subsequent two digits will represent the year of enrollment of business, and the following three digits will denote the quantity of the enrolling master. The last 6 digit is the unique number of the FBO or the FBO permit number. But you should print all the 14 digits on the label. So this is the website of FOSCOS. So you can go here and either apply for license by clicking this tab or apply for registration by clicking this tab. So normally the period of license is given from 1 to 5 years, and you can either modify your registration or license, and you have to renew priorly, 30 days priorly you have to apply for renewal. And compliance with the act will invite penalization actually. So penalization or punishments and even imprisonment is stated in the act. And this is if you have a substandard, if you do a lot of adulteration, which was spoken by the earlier speakers, and for misbranding and substandard honey, if you just circulate, and if there is presence of any extraneous matter in that, and misleading advertisements, false claims. So all this will attract a punishment or penalty under the law. So if you see, there's a lot of regulation under FSSR 2011, and whatever so far we have been discussing is on the licensing and registration for food business. So moving on to honey, which is falling under the food product standards and food additives. So honey is categorized under 2.8, which is on sweetening agents, including honey. And these sweetening agents, including honey, contains many products, of which the first three is on honey. So you have honey as such, and the products obtained as a result of these bees activity, like we have the beeswax and the royal jelly also additionally. And honey is classified as either a blossom honey or nectar honey, so which is purely coming from the nectars of plants. Next we have the honeydew honey. So this honeydew is mainly from the excretions of the plant sucking insects. So when the honeys suck the excretions of plant sucking insects and they make it as honey, then we call it as a honeydew honey. And honey, like it's already been spoken from morning, like it's a natural sweet substance free from any adulterants and free from any other organic or inorganic matter. And predominantly it contains sugars, mainly fructose and glucose. And honey is so pure that it will not have any other added ingredient or any other added preservative or food additives into it. And it shall not be, honey cannot be processed or should not be processed either by heat or in any other processes, such that the original quality will be hampered. Okay. And I think Dr. Vijay Kumar has already shown us the AgMark and the FSSAI specifications. So these are all some of the quality parameters for which honey should be tested and should be in accordance with. And you can say like a beeswax. So this is nothing but it is obtained from the honeycomb of bees, and it's a mixture of fatty acids and fatty alcohols actually. And the law also specifies certain quality parameters for beeswax, and there are two categories, yellow and white actually. So yellow or light brown solid, it will be the yellow beeswax, and generally it is more fragile actually, and this has the characteristic odor of honey as well. Whereas white beeswax is like they are quite translucent and whitish in color. So, and next we have royal jelly. So this is nothing but the secretion from the hypopharyngeal, the mandibular glands of the worker bees actually. And this royal jelly is also part of the food, and similar to honey, like this should also be free from any food additives. And this should come in a more raw and natural form, and this is processed through filtration. And the color, the taste, and the chemical composition is to be determined by either absorption and transformation of the bees, which are fed with the there are two types actually here, type 1 and type 2. So the bees which are naturally fed, they feed on pollen, nectar, and honey. And the bees which are feeding on other nutrients like your proteins, carbohydrates. So there are two types here. So, and you can see like the HDA, the 10-hydroxy 2-deconic acid, the HDA. So this is the characteristic component which is found in royal jelly. So this can be used in identification of the originality of the royal jelly actually. And the requirements here, you can see like the royal jelly, normally it has got a characteristic color. which is milky white to pale yellow with a luster being observed. And normally it is pasty or sometimes it is jelly like also. And so minor crystallizations sometimes is also feasible here upon storage, and it has got a more pungent and unfermented odor. And like you can see, like so this can be causing a small spicy acrid taste when consumed. And some of the requirements of royal jelly, there are 13 quality parameters. And you can see here furosin is an authentication for royal jelly. Actually, this is one of the quality parameter which will show the freshness of the royal jelly, whether it is fresh or whether it is a stored one. And coming to the labeling requirements, so this is some of the most essential criteria under licensing and registration. So whatever is being packed should be labeled according to the law. So the primary thing, the consumer should be aware of the name of the product, the list of ingredients, the nutritional labeling, how much of energy, protein, or etc. is being delivered by the item inside the pack. Any health claim or nutritional claims, if at all, and a declaration regarding the food allergen. Suppose here the pollen count is one of the important thing actually in honey. So sometimes pollens may be allergic to some people, like it's under the category of allergen. So you have to put the number that food allergen declaration here. And a veg or this is common for other foods actually. And so I think honey should be free from food additives. So for other foods, like if you are adding any other preservatives, like you have to give a label declaration, and the manufacturing address, the net quantity, batch number, date of packaging, or date of manufacturing should be mentioned, and the country of origin, whether it is made in India or whether it is imported from some other country, and directions of usage. So all these things should be specified on the label. So apart from this, for honey, there are certain specific labeling requirements. Say, as we discussed, like the honeydew honey. So in case if the honey is processed from by means of the honeydew, that is the honey obtained or produced by the bee by taking the secretions of the plant sucking insects, then you call it as, then the label should state that it is honeydew honey. And in case if it is a blend of honeydew honey and the blossom honey, then accordingly the labeling should be made that it is a blend of honeydew honey and blossom honey. And if the honey is derived from the flower of Cavia callosa, so this is a particular variety which is described as a thixotrophic and is gel-like, extremely viscous when standing still, and it will turn into a liquid when agitated or stirred. So this has got a characteristic uh, consistency, and so it should be labeled accordingly as Cavia callosa honey. Next, in case if we obtain the honey by pressing the broodless combs, then it will be labeled as pressed honey. So in case the pressed honey is obtained from either blossom or blend or from honeydew honey, accordingly it should be mentioned on the label as pressed honeydew honey, or pressed or blend of honeydew honey and blossom honey, or pressed Cavia callosa honey. So the word pressed should be attached with all of these. And finally, like depending on the pollen content, okay, and the honey is labeled in according to the floral or the plant source. So this has got specific organoleptic, physicochemical, and microscopic characteristics. So monofloral honey is the one where the minimum pollen content is from a single plant species, not less than 40, at least minimum 45% of the total pollen content should be from a single floral. So then it is called as a monofloral honey. It is multifloral if the pollen content is found from different species and it does not exceed 45% of the total. So there are two categories. So this is one of the essential requirements, the monofloral and the multifloral honey, to be mentioned on the label. And Niftum Tanjore has got a wonderful food testing laboratory which is accredited with NABL and is a FSSAI referral and a national reference laboratory for FSSAI. So, and the testing for honey is also being carried over here for nutritional labeling or for any other contents for adulteration and for other quality and safety parameters. So the services can be utilized by the food business operators, and the session is open for discussion finally.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an informative presentation. Ma'am, two questions are there. Every product have same FSI or there will be different FSI for every other product?
No, the FSSAI license is basically not given specifically for each and every product. It is given to the manufacturing address under which the product is being manufactured. So you have to give the premises, okay, the address of your premises where you are going to process or relabel, repack the particular type of products. So it is basically given to the premises where you are going to carry over your business. In case, and you have to specify the kind of products or what are all the products which you would like to cover under that premises. And one more thing, like if you have more than one premises, then you have to declare one of them as your headquarters, and you can have the subsequent as your sublets.
Ma'am, second question, do we have to test every batch?
Every batch, yes, now the testing has become 6 months once. It is mandatory for FBOs to get their commodity tested and upload the test reports on the portal. It has become mandatory now.
Ma'am, what type of FSI license needed for honey?
What type of FSSAI license we need for
Honey.
honey?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
that depends on not only for honey, whatever the commodity is, that depends on what is your business volume. So, as micro food entrepreneurs, like normally state license is a registration is preferred when your business volume is less than 12 lakhs per annum. In case we have a more bigger business, and if our business volume is between 12 to 20, 12 lakhs to 20 crores, then it is mandatory that we obtain a state license from the FSSAI. That depends on the business volume actually.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, one more question. Does Niftem Thanjavur test the honey for FSI standard? If so, what is the cost for the test?
Yes, I've shown you already the testing brochure. So we do test it for the quality standards of FSSAI. So you can just write to us in case if you want to have a quote, and our testing brochure is also available on our website. The charges are given there. So you can just go and have a look at that.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a detailed presentation. I hope everyone got cleared with their doubts. So we are moving towards our next technical session, which is on PMFME scheme guidelines and features. For this, Dr. V.R. Sineja, ma'am, professor and head FBIC Niftan Thanjavur, and she is a PMFME coordinator. But unfortunately, she is not with us right now. She is busy in some work. So with from that alternative, Mr. Vijay Kumar YP from PMFME, he will take the session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, honorable person here. Myself going to take this section. Basically, this scheme implemented by MOFPA to formalize the micro food processing sector. So, coming to the objective of the scheme is providing increased access in time of loan by exiting micro food processing enterprise. It further aims in supporting FPO, SHS, and cooperatives. It also aims at providing the professional technical handholding support to micro enterprises, which is helping formalizing micro food processing sector. Then it also focuses on strengthening of institution at state level, district level, research institution, food processing sector, and next is aim at developing increased common service like incubation facilities at a district level. It also one of the key component of the scheme. I will be covering briefly in this slide. The scheme on formalizes the unorganized micro enterprises, FBOs and SHS to make the investment and upscale their operations, thereby support for transition exiting 2 lakh enterprises into the formal framework. So coming to the next slide. So coming to the major feature of this scheme, actually is based on the ODOP approach. Here we are talking about the honey processing value addition. The total outlay of this scheme, 10,000 crore for a period of 5 years up to the 2025. Here you can see the sharing pattern where the government of India mostly directly implementing the scheme along with the state nodal agency and officials and the district level partner also is there. So coming to the benefit of the scheme, through this scheme, the funding support can be provided for the upgradation of existing micro units as well as the new units. The time of credit linked subsidy of 35% is maximum ceiling 10 lakh rupees. In that, the benefit contribution should be the minimum 10% of the project cost, with the balance being availed as a loan from the bank. In addition, seed capital support is also available to the self-help group up to the 40,000 rupees per member. And there is the state level marketing and the branding support around the 50% grant for government organization. So they can apply for the common brand under this scheme. And there is the support for establishing common incubation centers with the 100% support government organization and the 50% in case of private organization. Okay. So, so, uh, so coming to the how to apply the PMFME scheme. So how we can proceed with the application? All existing unit or new unit have to apply through the online portal. For the group application, apply with the DPR to the state nodal agency, which undergo the preliminary scrutiny by the nodal officials. To the apply common incubation facility, separate online portal in then our NIPTM Tanjore portal page. Okay. Coming to the capacity building, now we can move another important component of the scheme. The capacity building, which involves providing the training to all stakeholders of the scheme in the form of two aspects. One is the product specific training, and another one is the entrepreneurship development. The product specific training focus on domain knowledge, machineries involved with packaging, except value addition with respect to micro enterprises, marketing and branding, etc. And the entrepreneurship development focus on functional expert of running the business involving the various business opportunities and DPR preparation, which most important factor when you are going for any kind of financial support in time of loans, subsidies, and the skill needed for the business management. Also, it covers the regulation and the registration process for recovered state starting enterprises. Okay. Now coming to the that master level training, I already told you that 9 domains will be there. One is the fruit and vegetable processing, grain processing, milk and processing. The 9 domain that national level research institution organized by master training of food subsector. So basically, these are the food subsector domains are in master training conducted by various national level research institutions, including the NIPTM Tanjore Institute, NIPTM Kuntli, and CFTR Mysore, CFTR Kuchi, etc. Many more like research institutions. Based on the whatever the domain they are taking here. So under this scheme, we have 9 domains. You can see here in the scheme. Once the master trainer qualified, the state level of master trainer will provide to the district level official and the district level trainer and the district resource person. Here, district resource person are responsible for providing the hand-holding support to the beneficiaries for the preparation of DPR, online submission of application, and the document needed for the application process. So they can trained by master trainer about the scheme and the food domain support sector in the case. Once they are qualified, then they will be eligible to provide the support to the beneficiaries. ultimately the beneficiary will get the training from the district level trainer. Okay, the district level trainers will give training to the various categories of beneficiaries like new or existing entrepreneurs who have already applied or those who wish to apply under this scheme. Okay. So that is the food-based training model developed by our Niftam Tanjavur for beneficiaries. Total 98 ODOP process product have been uploaded on our site. I will take you the web page demo. So here you can see the that common incubation facility is the objective. So normally that primary processing line, secondary processing line, tertiary processing line, packaging and storage and effluent treatment plant also include the common incubation facilities. It is increased for and created for one or more products like ODOP product line and two or three LED lines which is the non-ODOP line. The coming to the cost norm by leave by Ministry of setting up the common incubation facilities. 3 to 4 processing line has to be there. Capacity building should be 1 to 2 tons per day for ODOP LED produce. It includes the primary and secondary tertiary processing, raw material, finished product storage, packaging, which will be cost approximately around the 200 lakhs, and flooring and the minor renovation for existing building and the electrical connection, other auxiliary units like boiler, RO plant, ECP for also the ministry providing fund around the 50 lakhs. If you want to create the food testing lab inside the incubation center, from 25 lakh separately allotted for that, so that cost around 2 lakh 75 lakh total. Okay. This is basic equipment required for the food testing lab. That basic equipment available for hot air oven, apparatus, protein determination, fiber, this and all around total 25 lakh. It including that amount. So coming to the funding detail of the scheme. In case of government institutions, 100% of PMFME scheme available. In case of private agency, 50% of PMFME scheme, 50% of private agency scheme. And that the private agency is trouble 60% PMFME scheme, 40% that private agency. If you have any, so we can close this section. If you have any queries related to this section, post in chat box. I will reply it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. So we are moving towards our next technical session, which is on banking and financial assistance, detailed project report, DPR, preparation to micro enterprises. Now I would like to invite Dr. T. Senthil, Manager of Technical State Bank of India, Administrative Office, Trichy. He has more than.
Yes, good afternoon, one and all. For the participated in the webinar WebEx, thanks to Niftam Tanjavur once again, the opportunity given to State Bank of India, especially for me, the detailed section about the banking and financial assistance and detailed project report preparations to the micro enterprises. I am Dr. Senthil Tangaras, Manager Technical from State Bank of India. Okay, before you are going to the subject, first we will look into that, how to prepare the report, what is the importance, what are the benefits, why we are submitting the project report to the bank or financial institutions, what is the importance of preparing a report for your business. Before you are starting any business, the project report should be needed because it should have the detailed information about your business or project. Because based on the project report only, that financing bank or financial any institutions where you are going to avail the loans, they will have some ideas about your project. What is the content? What you are going to do? Okay. Then they can know about the potential availability of the business in that locality or overall business, whether it's a local or international, wherever it may be. and how much the investment cost, and what is the operational cost, how you are expected the profitability, the earning of the business, and because in any branch managers or any bankers, they doesn't know about the in detail, in depth of the business, in any projects. They can know about that only the processing activities. They know about, they are well versed in that activity, banking only. They are not well aware about the individual business, especially for the even any honey or any processing unit. They doesn't know about in depth. Only the businessman know about that what they are going to do. Okay, so for that purpose, we have to prepare the detailed project report for the benefit of, for the sake of. It will help to the bankers and financial institutions, those who will avail from the loan from the institutions. Points to be added, points to be included in the detailed project report. First one, the details of the promoters. Okay, suppose if you are going to start the business, you are going to submit the project, you have to tell about that, your details, what is the experience, what is the KOIs. Okay, then it is a private limited company or individuals, or whether it is a farmers producer company or SHG or any individuals. Okay, tell about your detailed information about the promoters, whether it's a private limited. If it is a, suppose if you are telling that private limited company, you have to submit the evidence, partnership deed or private limited deeds. Okay, AOA or MOA like that, you have to submit that. For every proof, for every point, you have to supplement that based on your papers. This is the details of the promoters. In that column, you have to add your experience also. Okay. Then name of the project, activity, objectives and expected outcomes. Where you are going to do the project? What is the objective? What you are going to do? Suppose you are going to do the honey processing center in a hill regions or wherever. Okay, what is the objectives of the proposals? Okay, the objective should be clear. Whether it is a leased land means you have to submit your documents based on that, whether it is a 5 years lease or 10 years lease. Based on your activity, you have to submit your documents. Then location of the project. It will be most important thing, whether in that locality, that forward and backward linkages, whether the raw material is available in that project site or not. Okay, how you are going to identify whether the water is available, or suppose if you are starting that honeybee for collection of honeybee means in that area, whether the existing activities is available or not, whether the site is suitable for that activity or not. Like that, you have to explain in that, you have to detail that. Okay, you have to explain. Then, what is the current infrastructure or asset is available with the promoters by the applicants? Okay, suppose you are going to start the honeybee processing center. What are the existing structures you are having? Or you have to start from the initials. Okay, based on that, you have to explain. Then, layout. In the processing, any processing activity, you have to prepare a plan. Where is the processing hall? Where is the storage hall? Where the raw material will be stored? Okay, where the final product will be stored? Where is the lab and administrative block? It should be the some layout. That layout should be approved from the appropriate authority. It should be attached in the DPR. Okay. Whether the project, whether the project is already in the existing hub or this is a new to that particular locality. Okay, if it is existing means that bankers will be easy to further sanction, or otherwise they will take some decision whether we can sanction the activity or not. Okay, always your project should be supportive to the activity or locations. That raw material should be available freely in the locality. And food safety, complaints of project site should be the government authorities, they should be satisfied. Some of the activities, they will not give the permissions in the field source or nearing to the residential activities. It should be, suppose if there is any guidance will be there, based on that you have to choose your site. Then what is the implementation period? How long it will take for implementation of your project? From day 1 today you are getting the, you are availing the loan from the bank, and today they will make the disbursement means, and how long it will take for the implementation of your construction or erection of your processing activities. Okay, your factory. Suppose it will take more than 1 year, or if it is within 6 months, means you have to mention implementation when the building construction will be happen, and when the machinery will come and erect, and when the production will start, commercial production, trial and commercial production will be start. It should be the date, at least the month, January, February, like that, you have to mention that. And what are the backward and forward linkages, whether the raw material, labors, okay, or skilled laborers or semi-skilled laborers, and where is the raw materials, and forward linkage, where you are going to market the product, whether is nearby any markets available, or you have any tie-ups with any companies, okay, how you are doing your market. These are all the information should be added in the project report, and manpower also. And suppose in your project report, you have to add, suppose you are starting the new activities in that particular area, in your area, whether it makes any employment generation to the rural people or in the urban people in and around the project site. Okay, it should be clearly mentioned. Suppose your project is eligible for the subsidy, means that subsidy agency or nodal agency, they will consider that, oh, okay, this project will make the employment in the local particular area, like that. Then infrastructure and connectivity, whether the road facilities are available, water is available, or EV structure, you can get the EV connections very free, fire certificate. Okay, like that, the infrastructure and connectivity should be available. Where you are getting, how you are getting, like that, whether you got all the approvals or not. These are all the points you have to add in the report. That's what is nothing but what is the strength of the project. Suppose if you are having any experience, already you are having you undergone any training in any reputed institutes. Okay, then the locality is highly potential for the honey processing activities. Okay, these are all the strengths. Then what is the weakness for your project? Higher competitions, rate, price, or any other reasons. Okay, then opportunities. Apart from that, your plan or processing activities, what you can able to do in future? What is the opportunity is there for your projects? Okay, you have to mention only your projects alone, not to the common, not to the entire business. Okay, you have to mention the SWOT analysis for your own business, not to the entire business. Then what is the threats is available? Okay, suppose if you are starting any honeybee business in your area, if you suppose after erection or implementation of a project, there is any threat to the local peoples. Okay, like that you have to mention, or in your business. How you are monitoring the business? Suppose any systematic, whether it is a systematic or any manual, like that you have to mention in detail. Then method of processing. This is the most important point. Method of processing also. What is the method? How you are processing the honey? Okay, whether it's a manual or it's entirely is a machinery. Okay, how you are going to process that activity should be mentioned in detail with flow chart also. Okay. Apart from that, what you have seen earlier, the most important point is market availability. Whether the business is suitable for the agroclimatic conditions. Okay, whether the soil and the water is suitable. And market availability, what is the component? Okay, nutrient value and compositions, what is the user? It should be mentioned. And demand and supply. Okay, what is the statistics? What is the existing of business, and after you are adding a business, how it will evolve, how it will impact in the business. Additional point, who are all the targets, whether the local markets or international markets or Indian markets, where you are going to sell your products, that it should be mentioned. Or if you have any company tie-ups, you have to mention here. If it is any tie-up business, you have to get the letter, proof. Trade, whether it's a local or international, price, then whether the business should be according to the central or state government policy should be mentioned. If it is any business, you have to get the clearance from the concerned department, or otherwise the loan will not be sanctioned. Value addition also you have to add it in your report. After the market viability, the financial viability, it should be taken care of the auditors. They have some ideas about the financial viability. Due diligence. Whatever the information you are given in that report should be true. No fake reports, no download or no cut and copy paste. Okay, it should be the pakka. And project cost. Suppose whatever the need, suppose if you are going to start the processing from A to Z, the bank will not give for purchase of land. Okay, where you are going to start the site, that site they will not give the loan. Okay, then you can add it in the project, but that bank will not extend the loan for the purchase of land. Apart from that land, the bankers or any financial institutions, they will finance for all other things, for construction of buildings, okay, transport facilities, and erection of machineries, whatever the machineries, okay, from A to Z, you can include in the proposals. And means of business. Means of business is nothing but the total project cost is 1 crore. For example, it's take 1 crore apart from the land value. Okay, because the land value they will not do for loan. Apart from the land value, the project cost is 1 crore means within that, based on the scheme, which schemes you are going to avail the loans. Based on that, the margin will be there. Okay, margin should be there. It may be 10% or 15 or 20 or 25%. The bankers will fix based on the viability, financial viability, they will fix. Maximum they can fix 25%. Your margin, you have to contribute. The promoter should contribute from their own contribution. Okay, remaining amount. So the within that 1 crore, 25 lakhs, okay, is the your contribution. Remaining 75 lakhs is the bank loan. Apart from that, the rate of interest, it depends upon the banks. It may be vary. Mostly the housing industry will get the lower interest rate, 9 to 12%. Among the banks, the state bank is given the lower interest rate. I'm telling that. Then what is the percentage of term loan on against your total project cost? And I have to mention the cost of productions. Suppose for 1 kg of honey, for the production of 1 kg of honey, how much the cost? What is the profit you will get from that 1 kg? Yield and sales, how much yield for the 1 year? Suppose your processing capacity is 1 ton per day or per month means from that how much you can be able to sell. Okay, that point should be added in the proposals. And cash flow statement also you have to mention. And repayment period is mostly depends upon the proposals, maybe the 5 to 7 years. For the processing industry, commonly the bankers will use 5 to 7 years the repayment period. Within that, you can get 6 months or 1 year, the gestation period, that is implementation period. Apart from that, you have to add your profit and loss statement, proposed profit and loss. How much you can earn? Okay, and from the earning, how much the expenses and the income statement. And repayment schedule for the 1 crore for the 75 lakhs. For the 75 lakhs, you have to add the repayment schedule for the 5 years or 7 years. It may be depends upon your activities, whether you can get the income from monthly onwards, or once in 3 months, or once in 6 months, or once in a year. Based on that, the repayment schedule will be fixed by the bankers. Even points and depreciations for the building and machineries. And if there is any risk will be that you have to add it in your projects. And statement of assets and liabilities. Suppose we are having any assets or liabilities previously, so it should be added in the proposals. Apart from that, already I told some approvals. Suppose any business or any processing activities we are going to start, some approvals is needed from the local authority. Suppose for the construction of the plant, you should get the approval from the local panchayat approval. or block development authorities. And for the construction of buildings, you should get some valid estimates, civil estimates from some valid engineers and quotations. Suppose for the machineries and equipments, the erection of machineries and equipments, what are the machineries, even that including electrical equipment or gensets, whatever the machinery systems and anything you can add it in the quotations. For that you have to produce quotations. And if you need any license for that, you have to produce. And most important thing, the primary and collateral securities. Wherever you are going to start your business, that site should be the primary property. It should be mortgaged to the bank. Okay. Apart from that, whether that proposal is covered under any schemes means you did not submit any, you did not give any extra collateral security, or otherwise you have to give some, you have to extend some collateral property. It should be a non-agri property. Okay. Primary property, it should be the planned construction where your activity is going to do. Apart from that, the collateral security based on your scheme. Suppose that honey processing activities is covered under PMFME or under agriculture infrastructure loan, means you need not submit. You need not extend any collateral securities because the schemes will cover up to 2 crores. Okay. These are all the points for the preparation of project report. Okay. If you have any doubt, I will give my number, you can contact me. After submission, after the preparation of your report, and mostly the auditors, they can help you. If you have any clarification, you can contact me directly, or I will share my number through NEFTM. Then after submission of your applications or project report, first the bankers will check the civil status of your particular promoters or company, whatever it may be, the SHGs or the individuals or any FPOs. Okay, first they will, suppose if there is any FPOs means, they can check the chairmen, including all the partners, all the promoters. Okay, they will check the individual civil reports. If there is any default in the civil report, they will not sanction the loan. This is a first filtration, first step. Okay, civil report. Then you have to apply your project report through either through online, where it depends upon your schemes, either through online or directly to the bank. Okay, you have to submit your, already you have prepared, already you have some detailed project report, you have to submit that report. Along with the detailed project report, you have to submit the applications. Whatever the approvals you have, that approval should be submitted. After submission of your project report along with the necessary documents, the bankers will come for the pre-sanction inspections to your site where you are going to start your project. That site, the bankers will come for that pre-sanction inspections, whether the activity will have the forward and backward, whether that they will check the entire thing. Bankers will check the entire thing at the time of the pre-sanction inspections. Okay, after the pre-sanction inspection, they will collect the documents from the promoters or from the company. They will send to the legal and valuations to the panel advocates and to the valuers for the valuations of the primary land or needed that collateral securities for the also. Then they will sanction the loan based on your need. Whether the individual seeking the term loan means they will sanction the term loan or CC cash credit for the day-to-day activities or whether it is a OD. Based on your need, they will sanction the loan. After the sanction, the bankers will conduct the documentation in the bank's premises itself. After the sanction of documentation, they will deduct the closing charges and inspection charges from your account. After that, they will make a disbursement on stage by stage, whether it's a single or it may be a stage by. For the construction activity, they will make the disbursement on stage by stage. Okay, if you submitted any quotations for machineries and equipment, they will send the amount directly to the buyers, not to the individual account. And after that, after the completion of your project, after your commercial production starts, you will make the repayment based on your, whether it's a 5 years or 10 years, based on your activities. These are all the financial type assistance term loan or working capital or demand loan, letter of credit if you have any foreign exports or bank guarantee. Whatever the type of loans you want, you can mention in the project report itself. I need a term loan of how much, this much, I need a CC of this much. Based on your activity, you can raise your loan amount. Then these are all the schemes available. Okay, AIF, Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. This is one of the most important loan available schemes is available through the central government. Now every bankers are having this scheme. Under this schemes, you can get the loan up to 2 crore without any collateral securities. Apart from the primary, that without any collateral securities, you can avail the loan up to 2 crores for your value addition of your primary processing activities. And suppose the processing unit means definitely you need some working capital. Okay, for day-to-day running, you need some because the purchase of raw materials or labors, okay, labor salary or EB, or if you want purchase of any additional material for your processing activities. Okay, for transportation, for that you need some working capital limit. They are available from the bank. Based on they can give the working capital for one cycle. Suppose from the once the raw materials come to your plant today, it will convert the final product is ready for within 1 week or within 1 month means based on your 1 month need, they can sanction the limit of your margin of 25%. Apart from that, the Prime Minister Mudra, PMFME, Mudra loan is available up to 10 lakhs. Here the Mudra loan up to 10 lakhs, you need not submit any collateral securities. Up to 10 lakhs is a collateral free loan. Then AMI for the construction of goods. If you want to store your raw materials or your finished goods, okay, if you want construction of your rural good, you can avail the loan from this scheme for SC/ST and ladies 33%. For general category, they can give the 25% of subsidy. Okay, for AMF also they are giving some interest subvention. 3% of interest subvention you can get. And financing for the farmers producer company also. The farmers producer company, they can avail at any schemes. Okay. Any scheme they can avail the loan. Apart from that, we are having that individual schemes, very specific schemes for the farmers producer company also. In that scheme, you can, I think that small farmers are doing consortium, they are given up to 2 crore without any guarantee, without any securities. Already, I think the last section is the PMFME. Under the schemes also up to 2 crore you can get avail the loans. And farmers produce marketing loan and warehouse receipt. Under the schemes also, suppose you have to produce the product, honey, or the final product is ready. Suppose it doesn't have any market from the production of till that 1 year or 6 months. For that purpose, you can market, you can hypothecate your product and you can avail the loan. Okay, the value of the loan is, suppose the market value of honey is 100 rupees per kg means, in that 100 rupees, you can avail the loan up to 60 rupees per kg. Okay, this is the warehouse receipt loan. And Stand Up India is one of the most important loan for ladies and those who start the new businessman and SC/ST also. And all the guarantee schemes are available. Up to 5 crores, you can avail the loan under the CGTMSC schemes without submitting any collateral securities. The primary security is needed. For any loan, primary security is needed. CGTMSC schemes, the bankers will not sanction the loan very easily. Okay, unless until if you are well known to the bank or well known to the particular bank's managers. For that, you have to start the account and you have to contact the bank's managers. Just start a relationship with them. Sir, so and so, I am going to start that business. So you have to help me. This is my project report. You kindly sanction the loan. This is the potential is available for the business. Like that, you have to make a relationship with your branch managers. These are all the schemes in detail. Agri infrastructure loan. For the processing unit, you can get the working capital loan. And Mudra up to 10 lakhs. AMI for the rural loan constructions, farmers producer company loan, and PMFME schemes, and producer marketing loan. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. for such an informative presentation. So we will start with the third technical session, which is on entrepreneur experience sharing. For this, we are moving for the last but not the least technical talk, which is on honey processing insight experience sharing. Now I would like to invite Dr. H.R. Bhargava, Associate Professor, School of Sciences, Garden City University, Bangalore. He holds a PhD degree in zoology and apiculture from Bangalore University. He is skilled in genetics and apiculture teacher, highly effective at challenging students to expand their knowledge and move beyond the basics of subject matter to develop the deeper understanding of principle and potential in the future field. He has more than 21 years of teaching experience and published more than 20 papers in his field. His area of interest is oxidative properties of honey, chemical characterization and application of honey, and many more. He conducted more than 25 seminars, workshops, and trainings, and many more. He was awarded as a Senior Scientist Award at the International Workshop on Technology Transfer in Beekeeping, Meliponiculture and Honey Festival, Bangalore, which is held during February 24 to 2 March 2014. I welcome you, sir, in this, and thank you for accepting our invitation. The session is over to you, sir. Thank you.
So it's my pleasure being here at this platform on the webinar on honey processing and value addition. So at last, we are here towards knowing about the honey processing. So before going into the honey processing, we should know what honey is. Probably from morning you have been hearing about honey as well as its chemical composition, as well as its medicinal efficacy. So let me throw a light on what honey is. So honey is nothing but the a sweet liquid, which is commonly called as the nectar, that is converted into honey with the influence of certain enzymes. Where the process of conversion of the sucrose into glucose as well as with the fructose happens on. Basically, honey is composed of fructose, which is of 38%, as well as the glucose 31%. So along with this major composition, so there are also various other components like the maltose, complex carbohydrates are said to be present. Along with that, there are also distinctive aromatic agents that are there, as well as with the pigments are also being present. Whereas the components in honey also has the vitamins, minerals, acids, the pollen content. Along with that, the enzymatic activity which happens on. So all these makes the honey a nutritional element. Can I go to the next slide? Yeah. So one of the most important property of the honey is the stability. Now we know what honey is, the composition of the honey, and this honey has to be stored for a longer period of time. And it can also be stored for a longer period of time because of its stability, where it does not spoil. The reason for that is the constituents that it has itself. Now, this is a part due to the enzymatic action that is being done within the stomach of the bees. So there are various enzymes that are being responsible for the conversion factor. Example, it can be an invertase that converts the sucrose to nectar, sucrose in nectar to the glucose as well as with the fructose. Along with that, it has glucose oxidase that mixes with the nectar, and it creates the byproduct called as gluconic acid and hydrogen peroxide. And this contributes the majority of the honey being the acidic in nature and also the antibacterial property. So because of this, we see that honey is said to be of the antimicrobial activity is more with respect to the honey, and that also depends on the different types of honey. Can I go to the next slide? Yeah. Now the honey is being classified as been told in the previous sessions. Honey is commonly classified according to its floral source, which is also the nectarous source, where one we call it as the unifloral one, where the pollen predominant is more than 60%. And if there is a mixed pollen content, so then we call that as the multifloral honey. So based on the melatopalynological studies, we can categorize the honey as a unifloral honey as well as the multifloral honey. where honey is also being graded based upon its color as well as its optical density. So, which is a prime factor being determined by these CAS, commonly called as the Codex Alimentarius Standard, so which is of an international standard. Along with this, there is a range for the honey which is being shown with the P-Fund scale that starts from 0 to 114. As it's commonly said as the darker honeys has good antioxidative capacity as well as it's good for health. So the lighter ones are not that great of medicinal efficacy compared to that of the darker honey. So because of that, the graded honey, which is called as the grade honey, is very clear and has a good flavor as well as the aromatic composition. Can you go to the next slide? Now let us compare what is the raw honey as well as the processed, because the topic that what I want to introduce and to speak about was on processed honey. So let me give you a comparison between what raw honey and the processed honey is. Generally speaking about the raw honey, which contains the bee pollen, where it has a mixture of bee pollen, and along with that there is also the bioactive compounds such as the antioxidative capacity, the enzymes, as well as the micronutrients like the vitamins, minerals that play an important role in the medicinal efficacy and prevention of health disorders when we consume this raw honey. So in olden days, what used to happen is people go near to the hive, disturb the hive, and directly consume the honey. It is also good that they can have this raw honey, but few people are quite allergic to few components that are being present in honey. Example, it can be in bee pollen. For few people, bee pollen is said to be an allergen. So consuming the raw honey with the bee pollen can cause various ailments. So because of that, it's not advisable. So the where the processed honey came into existence, which meant to say that this processed honey does not have the medicinal property that the raw honey has, but there is an advantage as well as with the disadvantage, both in the raw as well as in case of the processed honey. So let me make you aware about what this processed honey is. Generally speaking, that it is nothing but the pasteurization. So what is that pasteurization? You are going to heat the honey and then cool it, store it, make it to cool, and store it in a container, and then bottle it and pack it and give it to the customer. So this is what the processed honey is. If the quantity is quite less, so then we can go with the raw honey. And if the quantity is more, in the sense, if you are been establishing an industry and where more quantity of honey is flowing inside, so then you need to process it, and where if you have to store the honey for a longer duration of time, compulsorily the honey has to be processed. But there are pros as well as with the cons. So let me give you a detailed explanation on how the processed honey can be processing of honey can be done, and it can be used for a longer duration of time in enhancing its shelf life period. Next slide, please. Now, the basic steps that have been involved in processing the honey is, number one, you need to heat the honey. Next one is filtration. And the third one is moisture reduction. So these are the three prime points that you need to keep it in mind when the processing of honey is done. So generally the pasteurization process, as I told you earlier, just you are going to heat the honey, and along with that you are going to cool down the honey in between the heating as well as with the cooling. So there are other steps that also that should be followed up. So that is what the filtration as well as with the moisture reduction. So next slide, please. So this is the schematic representation of how the honey is collected from the beekeepers. So let me also give you an insight on how the honey has to be collected. So when the large scale production happens on, so there is a chance where the unripe honey is also being added up. with the ripe honey. So when what do you mean by ripe honey and what do you mean by unripe honey? Probably, if you are aware of the information, let me also give you an information again. The ripened honey is nothing but the honey which is the nectar collected by the bees, and it is converted into honey, and this honey is stored inside the cell, within the hexagonal cell within the comb, where this has moisture content, and the moisture content has to be reduced. So because of that, the nurse bees, what they do is they start fanning near to the honey which is being collected that has moisture. So slowly the the moisture content is reduced to 18% by the bees with an activity called as fanning. So then what happens? Later they seal the cell. So the cells that are being sealed are called as the ripened honey. So unripe honey is nothing but the honey which is not being sealed properly. So when the honey extraction happens on, so both ripe honey as well as with the unripe honey is removed, uncapped, and then the centrifuge where they extract it and where they store it. So this is the condition in which the moisture can enhance. So to reduce that, what we do is we start with the different methodology called as moisture reduction. So before to that, what we do is we heat the honey, and the heating of honey should not exceed more than 60 to 65 degree. But here it's been represented at 70 degree as a maximum temperature where we need to maintain in heating the honey. So what happens when you heat honey? So when you heat honey, what happens is the yeast that has been because it is in the natural environment, so there will maybe a contamination, and these contaminants are said to be reduced. So that is the main aim of heating the honey, and whenever it is heated, the temperature should not exceed more than 65 to 70 degrees centigrade. And also what happens is honey is thicker in nature, because as and when the moisture gets reduced, the honey becomes thicker, the viscosity gets reduced. More viscous in the sense more volatile, so less viscous in the sense it is thicker. So if it is thicker, it cannot be filtered upon. So when it is slightly heated down, so the viscousness gets reduced, the sugars gets dissolved. So then they are able to filter upon. So what is a caution that we need to see with respect to the heating is honey starts losing its nutritive value when heated beyond 45 degrees centigrade. So we also need to balance in such a way that it doesn't exceed 65 degrees centigrade. Hope everyone is understanding about the process of heating the honey. Next slide, please. So let me also explain with the next part, so which is called as filtration. Now, once it is heated, it has to be filtered on. So filtration is one of the crucial step, because as we say that honey has the nutrients, and if your filtration is of different types. So I have mentioned here, one is called as the membrane filtration. Next one is the macro filtration, microfiltration, and ultrafiltration. So here microfiltration is advisable. So membrane filtration is also advisable, but not with the macro filtration as well as with the ultrafiltration. So what happens here is people in a large scale. So during the in a large scale production and processing of it, most of them, what they do is they go for ultrafiltration. So once ultrafiltration is done, most of the nutrient contents that are being present in the honey is removed out. So when the nutrients are removed out, so it's only the sweetened material that is available for us to taste. So what caution has to be taken up is where when the filtration has to happen on, so you need to see to it that the membrane filtrates are said to be used, or else the microfiltration happens on. The prime aspect of filtration is to remove the debris. Suppose during the process of honey extraction, there may be body parts of the bee that falls onto the honey, and maybe there will be some dust or other particles. So these particles has to be removed out. So only a membrane filtrate as well as the microfiltrate can make the debris to be removed. Whereas if you go to the ultrafiltration, where the pollen grains within the honey is also said to be removed out, because pollen is said to be a proteinaceous material. If it is there in the honey, so it enhances its nutritive value. So if ultrafiltration is done, also all the materials are said to be lost, and it's only the sweetened material that which is available for consumption. So this is about the filtration. Next slide, please. The third and the last crucial step is about the moisture reduction. Now, the advisable limit of the moisture to be present in the honey is 18%. Okay, so the unripened honey contains 20 to 25% because it is unripe, because the bees did not fan, so that the moisture was not reduced. Okay, so this is where the unripe honey moisture content, as well as with the ripened honey moisture content is. So the prime aspect of the moisture reduction is to see that the heating as well as the evaporating removes the excess of moisture. So due to this, the shelf life is enhanced. So suppose if you heat to a greater extent, so what happens here is excess heating and evaporation takes away the delicate aroma as well as the nutritive value of honey. So the honey never expires or it goes bad. So then why we need to have this processing? The reason is to prevent fermentation, because some contamination happens on when there is a usage, it converts into an alcohol. So to prevent fermentation, where there is a need for the heating to happen on. So it also makes the honey texture shiny and allows the blending of adulterants. So the heating also adds up the adulterants so that it mixes with the honey. And that has been put into a large scale production, and the usage being done by the usage being carried out towards the customers. Now, the last step is, once this moisture reduction is done, the last step is with the storage. So once this process happens on, it's stored in the containers. Now, storing in the containers is also quite important, because it should not be of a reactive, because honey is acidic. So sometimes if it has been stored in a tin tank, so it can lead to a corrosiveness. So it has to be compulsorily stored in a biodegradable steel as well as in the plastic containers. And later it can be bottled whenever there is a need. It can be bottled and packed and sent it to the customers as and when there is a need. Okay, so to enhance the shelf life, where the processing is quite essential. So otherwise, we can use the raw honey, and the simple process of pasteurization can also enhance the shelf life of the honey. So with this, I would like to conclude my talk on the honey processing insight. I would like to thank the director, NIFTIM, and also the organizing team for giving me an opportunity to speak on the honey processing and how honey processing is being done. So if there are any questions, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a detailed thing about the honey. So what's one question is there, as an organic farmer, how to prevent
Yes, ma'am.
honey bees death due to pesticide poison from neighboring farms?
Now, it's very simple. Now, you are aware that your neighboring farmer is going to spray the pesticide. So you see to it that you advise him to inform priorly, so that you can migrate your colonies to another place, minimum of 3 to 5 kilometer distance away. So otherwise, you'll be losing the colonies.
Okay, sir. So thank you, sir, for giving us such a precious time to us. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
I hope participants might got the quality of clarity to all their doubts. Now I would like to conclude remarks and vote of thanks. Thank you, participants, to give us such a time for this webinar. And thank you all the speakers who gave their precious time and explained that about the honey processing and the quality and everything. I hope that people are aware, like maybe inspired to how to do the honey business properly, who want to do their startups, and who is in the business might got the clarity what problems they are facing in the honey. So thank you all the speakers and participants for joining this session. I hope from this webinar you get the valuable knowledge and ideas for the startups and business. On behalf of NIFTM Thanjavur and PMFME team, I formally announce that webinar is over. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much.